Hello, everybody. Welcome to
So,
Cuestacast. How is everybody doing out there on this Wednesday? That's Wednesday. Wednesday, August 5th, 2026, episode
getting
number
lost, man.
19.
Getting
I'm a
lost.
pro, baby. David, what's on? How are you?
Nothing much going on here. I just bring up sports real quick. I've been seeing
Oh
some
boy.
clips of Shador Sanders and Brown's little training camp, and it's not a good start for him. It's not a good
Listen,
start for him.
Shador, I saw at the beginning of like when
This is
they
the
were
most sports
right
we're going to
before
talk
they
today,
got
by
the
the way.
pads off, like right before they got the pads on,
hmm
someone put up a graphic about how he's like out dueling DJ Watson stats.
hmm
And then I saw today a video of Casey Conception got laid out because of a fucking terrible ball that he threw. And they had Casey Conception mic'd up and he's like, cut the quarterback, man.
I
Cut this
know.
kid.
It,
Like
it, it's a little
wild.
rough start for him. I don't know what's going to happen over there.
Listen, but everyone's favorite bad franchise wants to trade for Shador. Get Shador. Fuck that. But yeah, no, Shador Sanders is having a rough go. Nate, what's going on? Max Mura, hello,
Max,
hello, hello. Hurry up
Max
already.
is here.
Yes. How is it? How is everybody doing? But yes, we are Questacast. We appreciate everyone that's watching wherever you're watching from YouTube X, Facebook, Kick, or Rumble. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. All of that good stuff. Nate coming in right away saying, yeah, but he was dropping sick bars on the sideline. Listen, if he's a good rapper, it's fine. It's not hard to be a good rapper nowadays. They all kind of suck. Uh, Max coming in saying, Wednesday, how was your weekend?
Yes. Dude, that song that CWC made for that is a fucking jingle, man. It
The
gets
songs
stuck in
that
your head.
CWC makes are all good. Okay, CWC is friggin' amazing. That is the proper usage of AI. Is
Mhm.
what CWC is doing. But last week we talked to Joe Lanu. We had a good time. He is the host of the grand jury, and we talked a lot about security stuff. Jury trials, law,
Mhm.
and I thought it was a real interesting show.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily agree when we talked about the cameras and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but I thought he brought up some good points
Mhm.
with them. But everyone go back, give that a listen. It was a great show. Also, if you're my voice kind of sounds like shit, I've been suffering through some allergies all day. So bear with me.
Suffer.
Suffer. But all right. So let's bring in our guest today. We are excited to have him on from all the way on the other side of the world. It is night here, it is morning there. What is going on, Meme Copium?
Hey guys, how's it going? How was your weekend?
How was your weekend?
Yeah, mine wasn't bad. I mowed the dog, drank some coffee. So,
All right, guys, hold on. We got to just do awkward silence for a good solid 20 seconds as
just
we're typing something now and
move your head
pretending like we're
around,
staying busy and
cough,
hating our lives.
pops in.
Oh no.
So, how's
I
everything
don't like
going?
those zins. Like those zins. Max is in the chat. I can see him there.
Yeah.
He loves those things. I tried one once. He gave me one, but they like burn your lips and things. It's weird. Like I don't
I'm
know why they're
not
so popular.
I'm not that's nicotine. I'm not a nicotine guy. I don't do all that. But I have friends who love that shit. Like they just pack them. They go crazy. So people love them.
I have never tried dip. I have never tried any of that type of stuff. Like I've smoked cigarettes before and things like that, but never have done any of that type of stuff. And similar to David, like I played football and things like that. And like just in high school to be cool, like kids would pack like full horseshoes of dip. And I'm like, you're gonna die, guys. You're not gonna have
Yeah,
any
they do get
jaw, and then you're gonna
crazy.
die of the friggin' cancer. Like, what are you doing? So Zins never attracted me because I was never a thing that I did.
Yeah, I had an American friend who lived over here, and he
Mhm.
was always doing dip, and it was one of the most disgusting things I thought.
It always messes with me seeing someone get the dip out and then pack it, and it's just like I feel like there's
It's
healthier things you
Do
can
it's
do.
not
Americans
even that.
really? Like I think it's like a really American thing, right?
I
Oh
think
my god, it's a
so.
redneck thing. It is a redneck thing that everyone brought up, and it's like I wouldn't mind the dip as much because whatever. It's the fact that they just a person that dips all the time just fucking leaves their bottles everywhere and they leave them open. That
Mhm.
is always is what bothered me. Like I don't care if you dip, clean up after yourself. Like it is what it is. But I don't know. We've gone on to a show
Well,
about dipping.
Yeah, I know. We moved.
I think
So
it's like, do you hear the story how Jeremy was saying that he was like waking up with like them in his hair and things like that?
Yes,
It
he was
sounds
waking up.
absolutely vile.
But it doesn't make any like.
Imagine the smell.
Oh man, like, well, why? How are you falling asleep in that manner? A man that can't get any sleep falls asleep with the Zin in his mouth. That doesn't make any sense.
You'd think a man that owns a coffee company would be more energetic.
Well, he doesn't drink his coffee. He drinks Celsius.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. But before we get going, we have a pastime that we are starting here. And that pastime is fuck Broma 16. So for those that don't know, we had an intro. It was Hack No Cap, friend of the show, singing us on with one of his best songs, I think. And Broma 16 decided, hey, you know the lyric that's not in your song. We're going to make sure that we say that it's in your song. So they did to a bunch of our shit. And when I tried to dispute it, they told me to fuck myself. So I start every show now with saying, fuck Broma 16. Stop trying to claim Hack No Cap song. And the second thing is, I still want to get David on Side Scrollers. There's still my mission. David belongs on Side Scrollers. He is a nerd, a weeb, and a gamer. And Craig has been on the show before, damn it. So we need to get David onto Side Scrollers. So anybody in the chat, if you're also a fan of Side Scrollers, go start spamming the chat over there and tell Blabs that David from Cuestacast should be on the show. So those are my two big things. We got some comments here. Nachi, Meme Copium, solid get. We thought so too.
Great get. Not just solid. Great.
It's hilarious too because like we were watching the other night, like end the stream. We were watching Josh, and at the end of it, I texted David. I was like, "Hey, you want me to try and get Meme Copium on the show?" And he's like, "Yeah, I doubt he'll come on." And then I just my autism, I just message anyone and everyone that has
an hour
open.
difference. I was like, "Oh, he probably not."
I just, I mean,
if it's provided it's not like a bad time thing, like I have no problem with talking to people. Generally, I mean, there's a few people that I wouldn't go on and talk with, obviously, but I think a lot of people take like internet stuff like a lot too seriously. We're all just kind of guys in our bedrooms talking about, or living rooms, I guess, talking about things that we find interesting. And I think that's what makes like this medium so interesting in itself. It's very relatable.
Yeah.
But some people seem to forget that and become larger than life characters, which is kind of like the LOLCow epidemic.
Funny enough, that's actually echoing exactly what Baring said in his latest video to Quartering.
I must have stolen it from him. Like,
no, I'm just saying
who are all thieves set up by the Unity from the UK.
So Max coming back saying nicotine isn't carcinogenic. The tobacco in dip and ciggies are. Listen,
this is just Zin using cope, Max. Come on now.
We're gonna
tell yourself whatever you want.
We're going to find out that they're putting some sort of other cancer in Zin, okay? Like whatever like the little baggies are made out of or something like that. Like it's all, we're all getting cancer somehow.
Look,
that's just how life is.
Copium at some point for whatever.
That's true.
So it's a drug that everyone takes a part of. It's understandable.
Max also saying, but as far as Jer is concerned, he makes a good poster child for an anti-Zin campaign. Hey, you'll get it in your hair. Don't use it.
Just take one picture of him and be like, this guy does it. Do you want to be anything like him?
That's a good one, actually. Yeah.
Buy his coffee.
I think I said that the other day, Laura. It's like, you guys remember the old internet demotivator posters they had, where it's like
those.
Yeah, and there was the one where it's like the Titanic sinking, and it's like maybe your point in life is to serve as an example to others of what not to do.
Yes, it's exactly what it is right there.
Every classroom in America had those fucking posters up there. They all had the motivational. Oh yeah,
the motivational.
All the motivational ones,
not the meme ones, but man. All right, so Nate
that's an ancient meme. That's like belongs in a museum.
Yes,
like
that's a good meme. Nate's saying no way he's sharing a bed with a wife and getting Zins in his hair like that.
Oh, he's not. He's already confirmed to be sleeping downstairs because he can't go up because of his knee.
Well, no, he walked 20,000 steps.
Oh yeah, okay. Up from 320,000 steps. There's no way. Come on now.
He said he did it.
I don't know. I think my favorite thing he's doing currently is his Blair Witch version vlogs. They all look like he's in the Blair Witch Project the way he's filming it. Like his little vlogs. They are just
those vlogs are a love letter to the people that make fun of him though. Like I saw his most recent one because maybe I'll do a show about it, like his updates tomorrow or something. I'm not sure yet if I have the time. But he's talking about his like music career or something, which is just a little. I mean, it's all right, whatever. He's in a friendly band or whatever. But then he's like, I know that the A-logs are gonna hate these videos. It's like, why are you doing this, bro? Like, if you're really just enjoying like having a fun time with the vlogs, like, why are you like even acknowledging these people at all?
Yes.
It's I think he's just reveling in the negative attention more than anything. It's the only attention he gets.
It's definitely got to be that. He's actually enjoying the fight, but he might think he's winning. That's the only thing. He might think he's kind of winning, and he doesn't realize that he's losing the whole time.
Well, that's the interesting question, right? Because like, some of the things that he says, it's like they just don't make sense. So, like, does he actually believe this reality that he's created for himself? I think maybe he has to get through the day sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that the people that are logging him are like, he's making a lot of people money. So let's keep going. Like, keep going, Jeremy. Keep doing it, because the super chats roll in, the Rumble rants roll in, like, and it's like, that's fine. Like, as long as Jeremy wants to continue being a LOLCow, let him, right? Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
It's only helpful to people that I like to watch and I like to
support. I mean, of course, he claims that it's all fine and he doesn't care, and it's like, react to it if you want to, but then in the sidelines he's seething and taking down people's channels, and like I think even just like yesterday somebody got like a privacy complaint or something. Like, it happens every other day.
And yeah, Baring's got the
Baring got age restricted, but I think there was I want to say it was a Kino Casino like clipping channel, like one of the Hydra heads or something that received one.
Oh yeah, I did say that because Luther said something about it. I saw a quote tweet from him.
Yeah,
but I think he's kind of constructed this reality because, like, look, whatever you want to say, he took whatever initiative that needed to happen to just shit out videos, his words, and make a lot of money off of them for the time because he was so milquetoast. And then you just fell from that because you tried to be more than what you are. And that's a lot of damage to the psyche if you don't actually accept it.
Well, I mean, he was living under this sort of perception that he was like this well-respected, maybe like even feared character that many people liked. And it just simply wasn't the case. Like, a lot of people behind the scenes have been like, obviously, pissed off with him for years, his friends from it, former co-workers and everything. And I think it was quite a big shock. And I think like one of the really crazy things was that this probably would have all been avoidable had he just ignored the haters for one more week.
Yes.
Because while I think that there's been like a decline in his finances and revenue for a long time, which is evidenced by his use of promoting his videos using the Google YouTube promote feature, tens of thousands of dollars by his own stories. So he was obviously losing money and trying to find ways to keep it going. This entire crash out could have been avoided if he just ignored the trolls, essentially.
Yeah.
But he can't help getting drunk and going on with his Twitter fingers and going crazy and getting drunk and being on stream and then threatening to sue Yellow Flash, threatening to sue Camelot. Like,
that's all ridiculous, though.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing, though, is like he must feel specifically hurt by them because they weren't talking about him for at least weeks by the time when he actually like made that vlog and threatened the suit and everything.
Yeah, I think that's like, I've always wondered why he goes after certain people. I think in particular in Camelot's case, it's because Camelot had like the biggest reach when he was reporting on the Renaissance Fair creeping video. And essentially it was Camelot. Like, obviously a lot of people did a lot of work towards it. I think it was probably Return of the Mac and Cheese on the Kiwi Farms. They probably did the biggest post.
Return of Mac and Cheese did the big post, but the video that Camelot put on Twitter, was that Renton? Was that Renton Line?
Maybe Reard and Steel or something.
Reard and Steel, yes.
Yeah, Reard and Steel. Oh, yeah, it's another thing. Yeah, it's probably Reard and Steel's Odyssey archive of that. But essentially, Camelot was the biggest breakthrough on that in particular. Like, that tweet got a lot of things, and is probably the impotence for him being banned from the Renaissance Fair, which is like apparently his one like joy. So I think that's why it is in particular. But I think with Jeremy, like, he only kind of acknowledges people that are like he perceives to be big characters. So I think like with Yellow Flash, it's because Yellow Flash actually has a successful streaming career. And again, like, basically everything Jeremy does is kind of projection. So he's like, Camelot is a failed race car driver, but like Jeremy was a failed RC race car driver. He only drove his track once.
And Camelot's still on the pro circuit. So it's like, it's such like a funny thing. Like, he still is a pro race car driver.
That's the thing. Like, maybe he's not a champion, but it's, and maybe people call him Crash a lot or something, but he still gets to drive around on the Zoom, like on Talladega.
He got a top 10 like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And he runs well.
Yeah, he gets to hang out with Malcolm in the middle. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing too. I also think he goes at guys like Yellow Flash and Camelot because those two are friends or friendly with people that we saw for years that he was truly trying to get in with. Like he was desperately really trying to get in with Geeks and Gamers, desperately really trying to get in with Friday Night Tights because, hey guys, I'm a nerd like you. I like World of Warcraft or whatever the hell he was doing, right? And I think because those guys are friends with that group of people, but they're not like the regulars, but they're friends with them. Like I think Jeremy is envious of those two because I could imagine if Yellow Flash wants to jump on G&G for something, like he did the Golden Patriot, so he was obviously working with the Ripperverse. So G&G had him on a few times. They promoted the shit out of him. Camelot's friends with all those guys. Like he can, probably jump on one of those if he needs to for anything. You know what I mean? And I
So
feel
you
like
think
Jeremy
maybe he was trying to like
do that.
sidle on in, like he was trying
Yeah,
to make friends with people on the adjacent sphere so that he could like worm his way into like.
And I think he was. I think he was
Well-
semi-friendly, and I think they thought they were okay with him because he was on Friday Night Tights a few times, and I think he was on G&G a few times.
Well,
But
and that's
I
also
think he's
kind of
just
what
a snake, and they realized it
that's
too.
also kind of what he does too. I mean, he did that with like the Skeptics and Sargon and all that stuff early on. Like he got into that group, and then after that whole implosion between that, and we don't have to rehash that because that was crazy in of itself.
I would describe him as an actual parasite.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
he just latch onto a host and like he usually doesn't really acknowledge anyone that's anyone smaller than him or anything. But that's kind of funny though, because like, I mean, not to call them small or anything, but people like Luther Morgan or Don Flurgandy, who have relatively new channels, like maybe under 10,000 subscribers, are doing much bigger streams than Jeremy's doing now, despite the 10,000 people on Rumble that are watching. Okay, whatever.
And I think that it's only a matter of time, right? Because like it also is what gets onto his radar. And I don't think like they've done things, but they are through the fact that Yellow Flash covers it, right? So he's pissed that Yellow Flash talked about it on Flashcast and everything like that. But if Luther does it enough, eventually Jeremy will try to strike his channel. Like that's what he does. He won't go at him verbally.
Already received some strikes.
There was a while. It was a little bit ago, but Luther did get hit.
He does it to them behind the scenes. Like he doesn't want to give them the perceived, like, because he's like, I don't want to give anybody clout. I think that in his brain, that's what he thinks. So instead, I'm just going to strike them, and I'm going to say, well, it was my community, because they're mad when his community's no.
Well, he didn't say that.
He just not anymore. He tried it a few times. He tried that in the beginning with the casino chats.
There's one or two like diehard dents that really like, do Jeremy's bidding, but they're few and far in between.
It's difficult to find. So I want to get to a few chats because Max is jumping in here. Max saying you had him at autism. Fact. I mean, we're all autistic around here.
Absolutely.
Max also saying that's true. The artificial sweeteners in nicotine pouches do cause side effects in a lot of people. For example, nuking the gut biome and causing Walmart scale diarrhea incidents. Not kidding. Hey, listen, if you ever need to lose weight, there you go.
I still can't believe he would share that. I still can't believe he would share that story. And then, like,
it's an endearing and relatable story. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, if he would have shared that story in the context of getting sick with the exploding diarrhea, then that would have been fine. But he shared it too soon. He would have just had to been like, "Hey, I got sick, and it wasn't Zin. It was I ate some lettuce."
No, what it was Qdoba. But it's just like, I just.
Is that like a taco shop or something? I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's Qdoba's Mexican.
Why is he making Qdoba look bad? I've always liked Qdoba. Yeah. Qdoba's awesome in Boston.
Well, be careful going into Walmart after having some Qdoba. But it's just ridiculous because his insistence on sharing anything about bowel movements. I mean, you say it correctly. He is actually kind of a poo-themed villain, and it's insane to think about it that way. But it's just. Why? Why does he love it so much?
So what's funny real quick, though, is it all depends on who's doing it, though, right? Because Jeremy doing it, he's not charismatic. He doesn't tell it in a funny way. You just want to make fun of him. But when you have somebody like, again, I listen to Side Scrollers almost daily. Phoenix on Side Scrollers has talked to us about his incidents, right? But Phoenix is charismatic, and he could tell a story. So you are laughing with him. Where Jeremy Hambly, you are only laughing at him. Like, and that's the thing. You need to have the ability, if you're going to tell an embarrassing story, you need to have a little charisma with it. You need to have the ability to sit there and have people find the situation funny. Not that you are the funny target, that the situation, kind of like a Jerry Seinfeld, right? You figure out a way to make the situation ridiculous and make it funny. Even if it's an embarrassing moment happening to me, it's the overall environment that makes it hilarious. Jeremy doesn't do that. He sucks at that. So it's like with him, you're just like, he's a fat shithead. Like that's all you could think of.
Well, the thing is, it's almost impossible to parody him because his life is just, it's already reaching this extreme, which doesn't make any sense. So how can you parody the like ridiculous?
I mean, he's doing his best to parody himself at times, I think. Like he just, I don't know. There's times where I think he is self-aware, where I think he does understand he is a LOLCow and that he's like, I'm just going to lean into it. But then I also think he leans into it and he regrets leaning into it. And then he lashes the fuck out when people make fun of him.
He tries to lean into it a bit. He tries to bring up peeing in the basement and stuff like that. But then it gets a little bit too much for him. And then he gets annoyed that people are bringing up that he peed in his basement. You know, it's just something that doesn't work for him because he's not a live streaming guy. He's a guy that's supposed to be just a robot that reads a news article on a video for like 5-10 minutes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't understand. It's an honor when your chat is making fun of you. Like, if your chat is making fun of you, you probably did something right. Right? Like, if they're noticing something and they bring it up, like, that's a good thing. Like, I don't know. Like, you want your chat to be fucking with you. Like,
Well,
Wallen's not
exactly.
here right now, but if Wallen always fucks with us in the chat, caveat ties. And that's a good thing. You want that. That's interaction. That means that they give a shit about you enough to engage with you in those moments they find funny. Like
I think part of that, like with the gross out stories, he almost seems to have a humiliation fetish at times, but then he gets completely insane if you mention anything that he's actually said before, to the point where he took down like the Incredible Salt Mine podcast purely out of spite that people were clipping the things that he said and said that was okay to make fun of him for. But yeah, I think it's like he's so dopamine starved and needing this instant reactions that he defaults to these insane stories that he knows will have any reaction, because any reaction is better than no reaction. But then he just doesn't like the consequences of that. He really does want to have his cake and eat it, because he wants to have like this, like, he wants to see Melanie Mac go, ooh, gross. But at the same time, that he doesn't want to be made fun of. He wants to be respected for.
Yes. Well, and that's kind of also what happened that one time when he was, and Hannah Claire was still there, and she took way too long to get out, but good for her that she got out. But when she was still there, and she said something that, a little bit combative, whatever, but he called her a bitch on the live stream. And then she didn't recognize it. And then he brought it up again. He was like, oh, you didn't react to me saying that. It's just like, well, why would she, Jeremy?
That was a very, very peculiar, peculiar. I would like to see what was going on behind the scenes, because I almost guarantee they had a disagreement earlier in the day or earlier in the week or something that predicated that like crash out, essentially. Like it's very feminine coded too.
Yeah. It is very interesting, especially with the people that he like chose to bring around him. And it's like, I have never truly been a big Melanie Mac fan, and I haven't made that secret on this show. Like it's I feel like her Christianity shtick is fake, and it always has been. But when he had Luke there, I like Luke. Luke was awesome. I didn't always agree with Luke's takes, but Luke was at least entertaining. He was a good streamer. He was good at what he did.
And he seems like an honest broker.
He's an honest broker, and he pimps his shirts every fucking chance he can get.
Apparently, Luke's quite popular in the spheres that Jeremy was trying to run in. I don't know very much about it.
Well, and that's because Jeremy has his shrine to Tim Pool. So Luke
has a massive following. He really does. We Are Change is huge.
Luke and Hannah Claire were specifically gotten because they weren't going to be with Tim anymore. I'm 100% certain that's the reason why he got them.
Well, thing with Luke left Tim. I listen to Tim Cast. I never make any bones about that. Luke left Tim about over a year ago. Before that, he moved. He wasn't going to be in the castle anymore, and he voluntarily went down, and he was doing another show, and him and Tim still remained very close. And anytime Luke was around or they went to Florida, Luke Rudowski's always on the show whenever available. Hannah Claire was with him, and when the shakeup happened, one day Hannah Claire was there. Next day she was gone. So
you're getting facts.
Hold on a second, I've got an alarm going. It's just a Japanese doorbell. It's just the NHK guy demanding that I pay fees for it. It's not going to happen, so we just have to wait for it to end.
Yeah, you're good.
Pretend I'm not home.
That's incredible. Look, welcome to Japan, motherfuckers.
But Alex, you're forgetting that like almost everything that the quartering does has to be in the Venn diagram of adjacency to Tim Pool. So even if Luke left over a year ago, there's still some closeness to Tim Pool. The only thing that seems to be outside of that orbit is Melanie Mac, but that's because she's the manic pixie dream girl that he's always wanted.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with that. That's definitely why Melanie Mac's on. But like,
Mhm.
I think that one of the things that Jeremy does crave is that he really does want to be respected. He wants to be seen as an authority figure. He doesn't want to be the quartering. He wants to be Jeremy Hambly, media empire, coffee mogul, and that's why you see these things like the Publica and exclusively games. And I think there was another one that escapes me at the moment. But
The app that he tried to make, Game Finder.
Game Finder, yeah, maybe Game Finder,
Yeah.
and also his like marketing sheriff and things like that.
Yeah.
He wants to be like this authority figure, and he looks at people like Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, Benny Johnson, and he sees that they're like these respectable. I mean, obviously, in certain crowds, people make fun of them as well, but you know, in their own spheres, they are these like kind of authority figures, and he doesn't know how they became that. But he sees kind of the elements that they have. So like Benny Johnson reacts to shorts, so Jeremy steals the shorts.
Oh man.
Tim Pool has these guests on, so he's building the compound and trying to get people to move in and all sorts of things. With Benny Johnson, I think he just steals like literally everything that he does. It seems like these videos are a carbon copy, although I'm not sure which one came first, you know. But you know, he kind of has these ideas of how to be successful and respected in the space, but he doesn't understand why. So that's why when you see him copying these takes about the various things that he says politically, he can't defend them when he goes on and talks with Rex Jones, because he doesn't fundamentally believe anything that he says. It's just the only thing he really does believe in is how to make more money.
He's always been a milquetoast conservative, right? Like he's always been a talking point conservative, and like, well, he's been conservative, but he just looks at what people say on X and goes, okay, just going to repeat that. Like he doesn't read into anything. He doesn't understand any of the concepts. So again, like you said, Josh, when he goes on to anywhere where he actually needs to go in any sort of depth, he looks like a fish out of water. And
exactly.
I don't understand why he would go on with somebody like Rex, and who is a person who likes to go more in depth with things, like, right? Like that's kind of what Rex Chapman does.
Rex Jones.
And no, Rex Jones, not Rex Chapman. Rex Jones. And it was even more retarded because that was after a feud. So you know Rex Jones is going to try and rip into you more because you had talked shit about his dad and him and everything going on. So it's like,
I think Jeremy has deep respect for Alex Jones, doesn't he?
he
Because like, I think his intro video on his channel is like, it's like Alex Jones.
Yeah,
but it's funny he did, but he also talked shit at the same time because he also he think Jeremy tries to play Ultra MAGA. Like that's also one of his shticks.
Well, so he's not political, don't you? Like, haven't you heard? He's a purely apolitical comedy man. He just talks about Brie Larson. What are you talking about?
It's so wild because like he was trying to play Ultra MAGA. So of course Alex Jones does Alex Jones things. He doesn't give a fuck. Alex Jones will be what he wants to be that day. And he has reasons for it. Alex Jones will tell you why. Like, that's the difference. And then he said something against Trump. So, of course, here's Jeremy. I'm MAGA. I voted for Trump, so I'm Trump guy. And it's like, but you can't defend it. It's tedious.
Well, it also still plays in with Alex Jones. It still plays into wanting to be respected.
That's
like
true.
Like Alex Jones, for whatever you think about the guy, he's known. He's very, very known. Whenever he says something, people might clown about it, but like it's Alex Jones saying something, so it's gonna go somewhere.
Frogs are fucking gay.
Yeah, it's someone that he would want to be like, but he just doesn't have the.
Well, yeah, because he's a natural entertainer.
Yes, exactly.
When you sneak into Bohemian Grove, you get all the credit for me, man. When you sneak in there and you just hide for hours filming and then release that, I don't care. Like, you could be wrong. You could say some terrible shit.
What was that one thing that he said, I think, on Joe Rogan, where it was like, human beings are the sexual organs of the machine world or something? I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know
it's like one of those crazy statements. Like,
they
wait
were
a minute.
high out of their minds, too.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember. I remember one of the times, I can't remember what stream it was, but it was him. I think it was a Tim Pool stream. Him, Blair White, Alex Jones, Michael Malice was on there. Yeah, and Alex Jones wanted some of Blair White. It was the weirdest thing to watch in the world.
Oh, he
was
did.
insane.
He was hitting on him the whole fucking time.
And Jeremy too. Jeremy said he was going to be Brokeback Mountaining or something with Blair White. I was actually curious because like there was a mysterious third member of the Astrocast was going to join us. Many people think it was going to be Chrissy Mao, but then like Jeremy said that they identify as female. That could have been a joke, but maybe it was Blair White. I don't know.
I think that was a joke. I actually don't think Blair White would go anywhere near Jeremy.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
But it most likely was Chrissy, and she backed out, saying that that people really just do hate the quartering. It wasn't just a fad of the week or something. Yeah. It's so funny how they thought it was like, well, this will be over in a few days. Just wait. the news cycle move on, and it's 4 months later and it's still going.
Yeah, well, because he keeps pushing it. It really is. He kept pushing it, and even when the casino channel went down, like he basically did brag about it. Like that whole post and everything, he basically did brag about it. It seemed 100% to be him, at least from what he was trying to signal out. So
I mean, there's no ifs and or buts about it. I mean, he said how he was going to do it privately.
Yep.
He said how to do it publicly. It happened exactly how he said it, and then he's already claiming he's already got his pre-victory thing ready. Like it's
The thing is with the internet especially, the internet is forever, but it also can be a forgiving place at times. If he would have just apologized, and even to this day, comes out, says, listen, I fucked up on everything. Everything is, you guys have been right about everything. The A-logs have been legit. Keno Casino, I apologize. This went too far. He would still get made fun of for probably another few months to half a year. It would blow over. The problem with the quartering is he doesn't have the talent to maintain anything. So the apology would then sink him. This is all he has left. If he had talent, and he could still put on a good show, or he was still interesting, then the apology would be fine. He could still continue to do his stream. He would keep his diehard, stay afloat. And then eventually he would get some people rising up in the conservative gaming-ish space that would then start to have the quartering back on as a guest. And, that would happen. We've seen those types of things happen before.
Well, I think the unfortunate thing about reality is that no matter what you do, you can do the most terrible things in the world and still be very successful if you're talented. And Jeremy just doesn't have that talent. He doesn't have that entertainment value.
And he knows that.
Look at musicians or movie stars. They do all these awful things, terrible things. People still like them because they're like, well, their music is a banger or something. But Jeremy just doesn't have anything like that. It really is ironic because both his greatest strength and weakness served him for such a long time, which I think is being mediocre. That's the only reason he never really became like this giant LOLCow that he is today, is that nobody had the attention span to watch his boring shit. And then when he finally did something to put a lantern on his behavior, people were like, well, wait a minute, all this stuff is really actually crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, and I do want to get to Max's comment because he actually makes a good point. It wasn't necessarily the mockery that triggered Jaren to false flagging. That had been going on for a while. It was when the existence of his Jubal was exposed that he finally reacted. And I don't know how that slipped my mind because that's absolutely correct. Once Adam Sellers was exposed, then it all hit the fan. Then it really, really all hit the Walmart floors and it was bad.
Well, that's absolute kryptonite to anyone in the conservative movement. If you look at Jack Murphy, Ricada, and now quartering, it's like I have this current line where they're all cuts.
And apparently, if you ever listen to Milo Yiannopoulos talk on anywhere, every single major conservative is gay at some point. He has called out names. He has said it in public, and he's just like, if they're your favorite conservative and they're Bible thumping, they are gay. And here's the thing, Milo has dirt on everybody. So I have looked at everybody in the fucking conservative space very differently at all times until I actually know them. And even then,
I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but it maybe in the content creator space for conservatives, because I think it's unfortunate, but I do think it's easier to grift on the right than on the left.
100%.
Because you've got typically people on the right are older, they usually have more wealth, and they're kind of like the underdog in a lot of cases. So they really do stick up for the people that they think are on their team. And you have a lot of these boomers, which I think make up the actual majority of Jeremy's real audience of what little there is, who basically just, shitting themselves in diapers in nursing homes. And they're too lazy to change the Rumble channel, which is how he has that he can use it all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the right, especially like you said, they have that kind of underdog mentality right now. Especially in recent times, the right has been very accepting for anyone coming over to claiming to come over to the right. Very, very accepting of it. It almost doesn't matter who. There might be some that go against it, but most of the time they'll end up talking like Michael.
Yeah, you see that. Yeah,
that goes against it. I'm the one that's like, listen, RFK is still a bad fucking guy. I don't care what he's doing. But once this is over, RFK's out.
Yeah, but the left has a lot of purity tests and a lot of things you have to get through in order for you to really start making money on that side. Obviously, you can do it, but there's still a lot more things that you need to check off before they're ready and willing to give you their money and really prop you up.
Well, yeah, I mean, jumping into politics is always kind of a very, I don't want to say easy, but maybe a very expedient path to getting attention, because you've got this built-in audience of people already that know, have all these things that they stand up and believe from, you can immediately get this huge, massive audience of basically 50% of people if you can pass those purity tests.
You know, it's funny too, though, because like if you get into that space, you have to walk a fine line because if you're too surface level, okay, people aren't going to bother with you. If you get far too esoteric and you don't know what you're talking about completely, just try to sound smart, people won't like. There's that fine line of where you need to know enough, but you also don't want to sound like a retard. You need to be in the middle. Like
you
if
also
you're
have to be
gonna go
entertaining in some manner.
and entertaining. Like if you're gonna go full deep dive, then you need to be like hardcore, really talking about it, because then you will get some of those tists that are like, okay, I like learning about Gnosticism and all the constitutional shit and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of fine linery there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that entirely, but because I feel like, especially in entertainment spaces, streaming, that sort of attention, it feels like there's very little room to have a nuanced and centrist take. It seems like it's almost always to your benefit to just go to a level of almost absurd.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing people really react to. I mean, there certainly is an audience for a nuanced, like, calm, collected discussion. It's just, it's very difficult to garner those people.
That's definitely
which is unfortunate
because we are very much, we don't, me and David both lean to the right, but if the right's being retarded, we have no problem being like, no, that's retarded. Yeah. And again, the hardcores don't like that.
Well, and it's just the whole thing about being entertaining, right? Sometimes getting into the nuance of things isn't very entertaining. Like,
well, that's true as well.
Being a little bit more obtuse in things and being a little bit more hardcore on things is going to entertain people, especially if you only have them for a short amount of time that you have to hook them. You say something a little crazy, you're going to get people to dip out, but you're also going to get people to be like, where's he going with this? What does this mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you have such little time to capture people's attention in this day and age, especially, that you really do have to do something to stand out. And I think I saw that like most students want to be like streamers or creators. Like the most desired profession now, replacing like doctor and astronaut and fireman and thing, is like because they just want to be like XQC or Mr. Beast or someone.
Well, I think there's a combination of things, though. I think it's because a main reason is, number one, we sold a bill of goods to a lot of kids that they can go get a liberal art fucking education and go and get $100,000 job with a liberal art education. And that just doesn't work. And I think a lot of kids are realizing that their sociology degree is not going to take them very far. So the influencer is the way to go. Where you have your kids who still want to go into STEM, they want to be engineers. They do want to do those things. And those driven kids aren't going to go away. Like that group of kids that wanted to do it still want to do it. But it's like, there's less of an opportunity because now we have been flooded with a bunch of people that have liberal arts degrees and they're all useless. And then they all become baristas because there are only so many, sociologists that are actually needed. There's only so many psychologists or things that are actually needed. So before where it was
need any psychologists,
zero. We need zero, but they do. They're
still going to get paid by someone.
They're going to get paid by someone. But in the end, it's like, we realize the liberal arts are not something of modernity. They don't have the value they used to have, where they're still great to know and learn, but you shouldn't base your career solely off of that. And that's where I think you get those exact people who are psych majors and soc majors are going, well, I know this is going to be useless, so let me become an influencer. And I know psyche, so let me go and try and psychological, some bullshit like that. And I think that's where you get a lot of that from, because your driven kids are still going to go and do those things.
I think that might be a part of it, but I also think you have to remember, when TV was still just a thing and it wasn't just, you could do this all in your bedroom. A lot of people still wanted to be entertainers growing up, but then they realized it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult to get into. Now you watch a stream of people you enjoy. They actually have a different atmosphere, more of like a friendly atmosphere. You could talk to all these people, and then that you could kind of get into this stuff with like no real money up front. So it feels like it's much easier to do. So of course they're going to want to go ahead and try to do that, because why not try to be the entertaining guy that could have a lot of people in the chat and have this really cool atmosphere going on, because it's a nice feeling to have.
Definitely.
And you could be a few tards like us and have someone like Meme Copium on. So there is the opportunity to meet some cool people in the space. That's also the cool part about this. And I will say, like, if you're just like me and you don't care about rejection, you can get some people that you watch and maybe you enjoy, and they do have a lot of followers and they're chill, like Josh. And when you ask them, they're just like, sure, if we can make it work, I'll come on. And then we were fortunate. And that is a cool part, right? Like, you have a lot of people in this space that are open to working with others and for no money, and just because they enjoy this aspect of just chatting. Like, they're on their shows to just chat and they're open to do it. And that is pretty cool too, because you do get to talk to some people that you thoroughly enjoy their work and things like that. So that's a cool part of it.
Like, if we can like kind of mosey on back to kind of the LOLCow sector here, it's like one of the things that I've noticed is that when people do become LOLCows, one of their like tried and true old reliable statements is that all other content creators are snakes. And I don't actually believe that's the case. I would say that like content creation is probably the same as in real life, where about 50, I think it's more or less around 50% of people are bad. Like, I think the world wouldn't operate if we didn't have a majority of good people. Maybe it's a little bit optimistic. It's a bit white-pilled, I guess. But I do think that most people you meet in life are good people, more or less. Obviously, everyone has their own.
I'd say decent. They are decent people.
They're indifferent. They're not trying to hurt you.
And I would say that most people that you meet online are the same way. But the thing is, people have like people like Jeremy. He's like, everyone is a snake. Well, who's a snake? Well, Bearing. Why is Bearing a snake? Well, because he said that I was being retarded. And it's like, well,
that's a real friend.
And, you did evangelize the idea of policing your own. And like, Bearing was literally came to you privately first, and then you gaslit him and said that it was him. No, it was you who deleted the channel. It was you that got me flagged. Oh wait, actually it was my editor. Oh, actually it was because I sent a signal message. I can't show the DM, or where I asked him to accidentally press the delete everything across 5 channels video. But I wonder if that's going to happen again, because he's got a couple strikes recently. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again. But it's really funny that, him not wanting to show certain things, or him, because it just reminds me of
show me the receipts. That was his catchphrase.
But also, it's funny bringing them up again. But the Side Scrollers interview with DSP, where they said, "Look, just show us the WWE Champions account. We could get this all settled right here."
That was so
and he says, "Oh, I can't do it. It would hurt my family. I can't do it." He has all these excuses for not wanting to show the receipt. And then it comes out that that was his account down from the raft.
I mean, that's why they say that honesty is the best policy. Is because like, if you don't need to lie, you don't need to make up these ridiculous extra lies to cover the other lies, and it builds up over the years, especially when you've got things that are archiving all the transcripts now, and like the Geralizer and things like that. You can go back and like he's been saying with like how many employees he has with Coffee Brand Coffee, like he has dozens of employees, and his families are being supported. And he sent out an email just today saying that he's the only person working there.
I have it.
It's ridiculous.
And
now you got it.
Yeah, I have it up.
Nice.
Let me try to get it up.
I owe you an apology from the owner.
Damn it. I hate X. Honestly, fucking Elon, fix your bullshit.
Yeah,
apparently Nikita Bohr got fired today or something. So
he's gone. But he sends out this email now, which Camelot was able to get. I don't know if anyone else got it. Other than Camelot from whoever he got it from. But he said he dropped the ball. Seriously, over the past 60 days, I've taken on the entirety of operations here at Coffee Brand Coffee, and the learning curve was very hard. I now personally take care of everything from fulfillment to customer service. It's just me. This is both good and bad at times, but I promise you, going forward, everything is going to get a lot better, like a lot.
Which is funny. Well, it's also because it's bullshit, because all he hits the white label. So it's not like he does anything.
Well, he's actually getting more vertically integrated now when it's just himself.
There's some interesting detail here, though. He says that we accidentally sent out 500 bags of people who hadn't ordered.
Yes.
So essentially, it's like $20 a bag, right? So he's essentially fumbled a $10,000 issue there. However, I'm noticing he says over the past 60 days. Didn't he claim last month this was his best month ever with the most sales? But it happens to be the same month that he sent out 500 bags by mistake.
Yes.
And that doesn't seem to add up. Wait a second now, Jeremy.
And it's really interesting. I do not believe he sent 500 bags out by mistake. It's 500 bags he sent out without someone trying to buy them, to try to get them back into buying CBC.
That's a good theory. Like, there's so many theories you can go at with this, though, because that is a good one that I hadn't realized. I would have assumed that the 500 bags was to clear out his improperly labeled inventory.
That
It could also,
be it too.
yeah.
before the regulators
Or
find
it could
out.
be refunds. It could be that
Could be,
these
could
people
be.
refunded after they found out that he wasn't legit, that he wasn't actually what he claimed he is. He's just drop ship like everyone else.
Well,
And they're just like, fuck it, we haven't used it, take all these back. And now he
Could
has all
also
this
just be
inventory
the
again.
expired ones, like the
yeah,
Could be.
summer style gingerbread and candy cane coffee.
jack-o'-lantern one.
Yeah. Spring Jack-o'-lantern festival. Yeah.
David, I want you to buy some and tell me how it is.
I don't want to buy some.
Dave, buy some.
I don't even drink coffee.
That's why you have to do it, because I'm a coffee drinker. So you need to give us someone that
Apparently the
flavor in
coffee
general.
itself is fine, but that's because Jeremy doesn't actually make it. It's
Yeah.
made by just like these other companies.
Well, no, he fine-tunes the flavors. It all goes
yeah.
through him, even though he doesn't drink any coffee anywhere in any of his live streams.
That's the craziest part, really, because I'm like constantly drinking coffee to the ridiculous degree, and
See,
he
I have
he
one
can't
cup
get
in the morning.
not one cup of coffee.
Yeah, like you can't even like, make a like you can't even fake it. Like just get a mug, pour your Celsius in there. Fuck it. Like at least fake that you're drinking the coffee for a bit. And I don't understand it. Like you would think if you are a businessman and you have paid attention to anyone who has done any type of business like this, you know that every single thing is to promote your product. So you drinking your own coffee is to promote your product.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not a businessman. We know this. He sucks.
Well, no, he's a very successful one. This has been it's going to be his best month again in August.
So let me round out a few comments here. Nate G coming in saying Miller Time shits on aisle 6. Yes. Max coming in saying Jared's favorite psalm from the Bible is Psalm 22:12. Many bulls surround me. Strong bulls of fashion encircle me.
Wow, I've never heard that one before.
The cup chair is strong with Jeremy. Nate coming in all saying Rex Chapman sucks. Yes, he does. And also Max saying it's hard not to cross that fine line when all you have to use are crayons. Tasty, yummy crayons, but crayons nonetheless. Nothing wrong with some good crayons there.
Yeah.
Max came back in one more. It sounds overly intrusive, but I'm wondering when Jared will default on one of his major debts, first or second mortgage or credit cards. Someone, Luther Morgan, did an excellent analysis a while back. So when do we think this is? Are we going to take bets on the timeline of when he defaults and when he doesn't?
I mean, Jeremy's been hinting that he only has a year left for a long time.
Yes.
I think he has this idea that the midterms are going to save his channel because his non-political channel will be saved by the political midterms for some reason. Hannah Claire will be back.
Yeah, she'll be back. Yeah.
Everyone will be back. They're getting the band back together.
Yeah.
I think that realistically, if it is as bad as everyone thinks it is, maybe after he sees the results from 2020, from November, then he might take a hard look at all these failing avenues that he's going through and maybe start to pull the plug or start to circle the wagons and find if he can find literally anything to keep him afloat, because he's already sold his gaming collections and RC cars and things like that, which he took to the casino. There's an interesting theory by Luther Morgan that the coffee brand coffee company is kind of operating at a loss to mask maybe gambling expenses, which could be something to look into. You never know. And that may be why he's so, going to the hilt, defending that this is a real coffee company. And there was some really weird stuff that was also exposed where he had these like offshore gambling account that was registered under his wife's name.
Yeah,
that's weird.
So what's going on there? This could be the last year for Jeremy. I mean, he follows Melanie Mac's dieting advice. I'd be surprised if he makes it November. But we'll
so he's going to try. Apparently, he's following the advice, even though he always talks about how he's cheating. Everything he does is cheating to diet.
So the question though is, we talk about him failing. Isn't he getting into Walmart and Target? Like, aren't we going to start seeing coffee brand coffee on the shelves?
Well, no, because it's only going to be on the website.
Yeah, it's a marketplace.
So basically, it's just like a different Amazon listing.
It's so weird. Like, I don't understand why he doesn't just say, "Hey, it's a dropship," and that's it. Like,
it's hubris. I think it's hubris mixed with the fact that he was pretty much scamming from the beginning. I think it's both of those things, to be quite honest, because he said so many things that are verifiably lies now about the K cup machine, about being vertically integrated, about doing their own begs, as he calls them, his own begs, doing all these things. Then now he comes, and now after everyone shows that that's not true, he comes around and says, "Oh, of course. Why would I ever do that?" So it's like this weird hubris that he has about the scamming that he did.
I think he's in too deep, and I mean, if you look at his history, though, he I don't think he ever admits to making any mistakes. Like, he even refuses to admit what the drama is all about to this day. 4 months later on, he just says the drama that passed over and things like that. It kind of reminds me, like, when I was younger, I told a stupid lie, and then like the lie kept going for years and years and years. It was about such an innocuous thing, like just a date, basically. Not a date with a person, but like a birthday,
like a day of the year, day of the week.
Yeah. And it was just so stupid at one point. I couldn't admit to it, because it was like, well, it's too stupid to admit to at this point. I've been keeping this lie going for years, so I'll just ignore it and hope that everyone forgets it. I think that maybe that's the same thing, because obviously I wasn't lying about my entire like alleged coffee company, but maybe it's that the case is like he's been going for so long that it's too ridiculous at this point to admit to it. It's almost like the, what is it, lost boss fallacy, where the longer you wait, the longer you'll stay, because you don't want to lose the investment at the time.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those situations too where it's like, if he ever tries to, because like one of the big, like, you know, I know he's not a political guy and not a conservative, but one of the conservative things is like being a man, right? He can never talk about that, because part of being a man is honesty. That is a big part of being a man, owning up to your shit. If you make a mistake, you admit it, you try to make up for it, you pay your debts, right? Like, he can never lecture ever about anything like that, because he can't even face the casino, right? Like, this could semi go away if he just sits there and says, PPP, you know, I was wrong about everything. Can you guys, I know you're going to make fun of me, but I just want to be a man and say I fucked up. You guys have a comedy show, do what you want to do. But I just want to say from my end, I'm sorry. This has been all me. I've been wrong. It's not going to fully go away, but at least people look and go, okay, manned up. He's been a bitch this whole time.
You have to understand, PPP and Worski are very scary, and they're probably terrorists. So that's why you really can't admit those things to them.
You can't
look, if you look at those Canadian war crimes in World War II, you'd be scared of them too. Right?
Exactly.
Canadians are not nice people when they want to be, right? Like, I think when you cross the threshold into becoming a LOLCow, like, you can never really like completely redeem yourself. Like with people like Boogie or someone, like no one will ever like respect him as he was before, but he can certainly develop a new audience. So you can make it a part of your show, or at least build up a new base, which I think he's trying to do with his vlogs. Although I think the vlogs is also like a quest for a parasocial relationships that he was kind of sustaining himself on.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you've ever watched the full Renaissance Fair video, it is really quite sad. Like, it's disgusting the way that he's like sneaking up on women and children, but like it is sad to just listen to it. And he talks about how he doesn't love his wife, he doesn't love his pets, he doesn't love his house, he doesn't love possessions. He just craves the online. Like, he actually just says, I think, straight up, I care more about anonymous people, you know, I don't know, like just clapping him on the back.
Yeah,
which is a very, very weird thing.
Yeah, it was a weird confession in that video, because he said he like wishes he was in like a single bed apartment with like a younger, like 19 or 20, I think he actually says like 19 or 20-year-old or something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, and then he says he's mainly doing all of this for the approval of people online, and it is a really sad thing to hear in that video, especially, and it's really weird when juxtaposed with all the shit he says to all the people around him.
If he wasn't taking away people's livelihoods and making the face of the online discussion worse, I might actually feel some sympathy for him. But essentially, he's a rabid dog, and he's like too dangerous to be left with the power that he has. At least in my opinion. It seems that because of the lawsuit with Flaked in Ireland, that he may have lost the ability to actually use these back end channels, which is good. But the fact that it happened at all is quite disappointing. I think we were talking earlier before the show, like on the backstage, we were saying like, or maybe I was mentioning something to the effect of, can anyone become a LOLCow? And I think there's these certain requirements. I think you guys were talking about how addiction is one of them, which I definitely agree with, because there always seems to be like a chemical element to this. Or like with Boogie, it was food. With Rukada, it was cocaine with
it's a
Jeremy,
mix of
it's
things with
alcohol
Ricky.
and yeah. But I think that one of the key factors is there has to be this desire for a parasocial fame relationship that they feed off of. And I think, when you do a stream, you obviously have good streams and bad streams, but then like you have a really good stream, it does give you a bit of a high. Like you definitely get a sort of attention.
100%.
But I was like thinking about this myself, is like, would it be possible for myself to become one of these people? And you never want to say no, because then it's like it's going to happen if you say that. But then I was like, I think a difference that, at least that I have, is that I actually don't really crave this sort of like online thing. When I turn off the stream, I don't want to like read all the comments and everything, although I do read quite a bit of them and try and respond to them. But I kind of just want to go on my merry way and continue on my next thing in the real life. But these people that do become LOLCows, I think that they don't have that. And that's what really sets it off. And that's why Jeremy can't admit to all of these mistakes, is because that would threaten this idea of the only thing he really values in life, which is this weird parasocial relationship with all of these random internet people.
Yeah, and you bring up Rekieta with that, and Rekieta, especially even before his fall, he loved Kiwi Farms. And probably even then he might have been looking at his own stuff on Kiwi Farms that was being said about him.
Well, actually, he admitted to that. He said he was reading his thread, like he couldn't look away. And then again, so the signs were there. And I mean, even when locals as well, he said he's like, I'm in locals 24/7, and he was.
And you could even see and I don't know, we could make whatever judgments we want about Rekieta when he first started. I don't think he really wanted to do what he ended up doing, but you could see I can't remember what the name of the trip was, but when he went with his wife to that
Hedonism to Jamaica.
Thank you. Yeah, but when he went to that, and then it became almost like a game for him to kind of hide it, but also post things from it as if he wanted people to fucking try to connect the dots.
Well, he actually did say that, is like he gave them enough information to find out, but he didn't want his family to know.
Which is insane.
It's so bizarre. But the thing is, it's like there takes a social amount of narcissism just to do something like this, right? Like we're putting ourselves on camera, hoping that our voice inspires people to watch us more, right? But for a LOLCow, it is raised up to the max. Like it is politician level narcissism that you have to be a LOLCow, where you are just, I think it's an unhealthy level, right? It gets to, and you see that people that are addicts that have these issues. Usually narcissism is a big part of it, but I think also a lack of hobbies. Like you said, like you go do things outside of streaming. I have my family. I have my other things that I like doing. But I also have a certain level of self-esteem. And I think that's a huge part of it, where if you have no self-esteem, it was always, people with low self-esteem were always susceptible to being the followers anyway. But now when you give them some followers and they have no self-esteem, that is where the parasocial craving really falls in, because that's the only thing keeping their esteem going.
I think that is a running theory you see between a lot of these people, like Boogie, specifically Boogie quartering Rekieta. It seems like they're, in their own mind, they were unloved by maybe the people around them, or they, like in Boogie's case, I guess he had no one until this random child bride came along. But with quartering, it seems like he's in this loveless marriage, and again, Nick as well seems to be in this loveless marriage, and then that's when they search for this other form of attention, which is it starts feeding their egos, and I mean, fame and political influence is the most powerful drug, apparently. Like they say, power corrupts, absolutely. In Rekieta's case, I guess he had almost unheard of levels of attention.
His was insane. His rise was crazy.
Yeah, I think that would destroy a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, but I also think with Rekieta, it is a little sad, because Rekieta was at least entertaining. Like I used to enjoy some of his live streams.
Oh no, absolutely.
He was a good streamer. So for him, I think it's worse, because quartering had no ability. Boogie, when he started streaming, you realize he couldn't stream. It was his videos that were any sort of good, right? Once people started to realize who the real Boogie was, they're like, this guy fucking sucks. But Rekieta is a different situation with the LOLCow, because he actually had streaming talent. He was actually an entertaining streamer who had, at least good enough knowledge about the law when he was talking about the type of stuff that he felt like you were learning something about the law in those certain situations. And when he had all the law tubers and they were all talking, it wasn't like he just sat silently. He input a ton, and they all he actually had skill. So his is, I think, slightly different, and definitely a little bit more of his vices that caused all this more than the lack of ability, because it was his sex addiction, his all of everything going on with.
Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I do think his very, very heavily libertarian ideology did kind of help bring that along, because he really didn't have a foundation of like trying to hold his vices together. He kind of was always about people just doing whatever they wanted to do.
I feel like with his case, it was kind of like him specifically, I feel like it's a little bit of an ugly duckling situation where like going through university, he was an ugly duckling. And then like, coming into his adulthood and when he started streaming, he seemed like a very normal person you could imagine having all these things. But if you look back at his old photos, like in his cheerleading days and things, like he looks like an absolute like nerd.
Yeah.
So he just didn't know how to style himself. And then it seems like he married the first person that came along. And then like maybe there was a lot of this like unsowed wild oats or whatever, where he was like, oh, if I'd only just waited a little bit longer, I could have had everything. I could have lived the Dick Masterson lifestyle or something.
That guy,
because he was kind of in that sphere.
Yeah.
And that seems to be like a lot of his crash out was like basically just the attention from the wine mums and locals. Combined with the insane amounts of alcohol and cocaine, obviously.
You get a bunch of these LOLCows that eventually fall. They all enter into the Dick Masterson sphere at some point. Like you talk about Ricada, EVS is another one. Ethan Van Sciver, who is 100% a LOLCow. And he like they all at some point interact in a positive way with Dick Masterson. It definitely seems to be a common denominator there.
It's really funny though, the way that like, because hasn't Dick like matured, I guess you could say, because isn't he married with a kid now? And,
now he has a kid.
I never paid attention to his content.
And he won't allow Vito anywhere near his house.
That's very funny. That's very funny.
See, that's a good meme. That is a good meme.
But it's a very understandable thing to do.
Understandable. That is. So when it comes to the quartering, does he have it fully locked in as LOLCow of the year? Is there anybody that
there's no way anyone beats him. It would take like
well, Ralph tries. Ralph always tries. Like Ethan, Ralph never goes away.
Ralph is interesting case because like
unicorn.
I don't really consider myself to be the best. Like, I don't think I'm very good at streaming at all, to be honest. I think my talents are more in video editing and maybe story writing and things like that. Although I don't really showcase those skills very much on this channel. Or on my channel, I suppose this is your channel. But I think Ralph, he has the entertainer's spirit. He has he has like a radio voice. He really threw it all away with the Zanny Berries, I think.
Yes.
Like, I think he could have been because that's how I ever even got into all of this, to be honest, is like, I think I started off watching like the, IBS, Internet Blood Sports. That was like the Morning Kumite. And then that kind of led into the Kill stream. And then Nick kind of got his start on the Kill stream, but also with the Dick Masters and stuff. And then I kind of, I watched the Kill stream less and less as it started to get like increasingly worse after it was like yeeted off of YouTube, and then it was like the Lemon Arc and the D Live and everything. But then people started to like ghost and and then I kind of became like a daily Ricada watcher, which is how I know so much of the deep lore about him. Until the show became really really bad with all the and everything. But yeah, he used to be really, really entertaining.
But that's the thing. That is one thing that Ethan Ralph has basically over everyone else almost everyone else that gets talked about. He's genuinely entertaining. Like if Ethan Ralph,
I don't know, DSP is unintentionally entertaining.
DSP he's not in and of himself. He is an extraordinarily boring watch.
DSP is like I think there's a hard barrier to entry on his stuff, because it's like if you're normally looking at DSP is like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
but then you have to like go through all the deepest lore to kind of get into it. It's like you do your DSP course or something.
Yeah, basically, like you can't watch.
We should start offering that, Dave. We should make a DSP course.
No,
and charge everyone.
I don't know enough. I do not know enough.
We will go, David. I will put you on the task to go watch everything DSP ever.
No, I don't want.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way any of the LOLCows currently on the board could beat the quartering at this point. Not with the way he's doubling down constantly. It would take someone crazy, like you'd need Donald Trump to start being a live streamer and then pull a DSP on the stream to actually beat quartering at this point.
That would be incredible, actually.
That would be quite a crazy twist.
But honestly, it's someone who he gets talked about a little bit and actually he just had a doc from Mikey No More not too very recently. But I feel like if Styx wasn't so down into dumps, like his fall has been pretty bad. Like it's been like everything that's been going on with him has been pretty bad.
Yeah, the Styx stuff is starting to get a little bit sad though.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's drifting into man,
yeah. Because I think like there's an element of sympathy with every LOLCow. And it's like with Jeremy, you don't have to feel sympathetic for him because he is such a piece of shit. Like he's almost like a perfect villain. Like there's a lot of these sort of characters out there, but like with Boogie, like he's a piece of shit, but he's just like a fatty basically who's like being annoying. Like is he really that bad?
He's just someone that has a shit personality, and we found out that he has a shit personality. It's like, go back to making videos.
The biggest thing with Boogie is like he just lies so much. Yeah, like you cannot trust a single thing.
The difference with the quartering and all of them is the quartering is actively trying to affect livelihoods. Like
he's an active
he's
threat.
Actually an asshole, right? Like he's not just verbally being a piece of shit. He is actively trying to affect livelihoods. And that's just, and again, we're small time streamers, right? Dave and myself.
I mean, me too. We're all small. Like,
you still know the code, right? You could fucking hate somebody. You can go at them. You can have them on your show. You could scream. You don't try to affect each other's livelihood. That's just, you don't do that. Like, that's just streamer code. It's unspoken.
Well, I mean, it's even just like basic man code is you don't go after someone's income. Like this is a very like sinister, very cowardly kind of a strike. It's like a poison in the well. Like, and I've described it kind of like the same as nukes. Like once the nukes start flying, there's no reasons for other people to start launching the nukes. And then it's just like nobody really wins except the cockroaches who, somehow survive the radiation.
But it's hilarious because he's fortunate that he went after more right-leaning streamers, because more right-leaning streamers are going to look at it and go, he's a scumbag, but no, we're not going to do that back. Because there's no reason. If he was on the left and he did that, they would have all fucking struck each other and they'd all have to make new channels, because that's just how they operate, which is the mutual assured destruction. But like, even if they're pretending, there is still some sense of honor code on the right where, yes, the quartering's a piece of shit, but don't go strike his channel. We're not him type of mentality.
And that's what makes this ongoing though, is because both him and Melanie Mac just don't even want to acknowledge that it basically happened. If they acknowledge that it happened, there's different conversations happening. But
Melanie Mac denies that it exists, because we saw with Craig and her's conversation when Craig shared their conversation that she's just defending him. And I'm curious what he has on Melanie Mac at this point.
I think she's just like, she might be like oppositionally defiant, where it's just like people are saying this, I'm going to just side with quartering. I mean, obviously she's got a paycheck to protect her, but like she's just like, well, everyone hates him. Well, then it must mean he's good about something. Which is a very weird point of view. Like,
and I do think him having her back on the Goonergate stuff does also play into it as well, because like
that loyalty.
The loyalty aspect of it, I think, does play into why she's
he was behind me when I was being retarded. So yes, let me be his friend. Like, so I want to go back to Styx though, because I think Styx is an interesting case, because behind the scenes, about like 2 years ago when we were doing the Alex Cuesta show, and it's the other iteration of this, Styx almost came on the show. It was more of a, hey, I'm in Europe right now. When I get back, let's talk. And it just never ended up working out. But that was still before Styx was kind of going nuts. And he was kind of at the beginning of that weird arc a few years ago. Like you saw it bubbling, but he was still Styx, right? Like you were still someone that generally was, I would say, fairly respected in the space, and was someone that was friendly with most people. But it's like, so I don't know as much of where this downfall even friggin' came from with him. Like, it's so bizarre.
Well, you do not.
It seems to be substance abuse.
Yes, it is.
It's sad.
I mean, in a lot of cases, it is substance abuse. I'm not too down with all of the Styx lore, but there's also a lot of the like relationship. It seems like he was also maybe in a polycule sort of thing, and like it's kind of like this idea of like,
oh my God,
maybe Satanist rituals and things like that. He certainly believed in the powers of Stolos to the point where he was doing blood sacrifices. So,
Josh, I swear to God, if I ever find out you're in a fucking polycule, I will not trust anyone in this space.
Hey, look, I've always said that one woman is maybe too much.
It's so hard. Honestly, I agree with you. Like,
I don't know where people find the time for these like ridiculous polycules and things like that. Like, it sounds like a nightmare.
I never understand how these wealthy dudes, like, you find these stories of, like, he had a whole different family that he would go on business trips for. It's like, why? I love my wife and my 2 kids more than the world
There's
itself,
a
but I
very good
never want
South Park
another
clip
one.
that explains it with when they give the chimps money, and then it just starts going crazy.
But it's like, no, I can
Uh,
never, ever have
but the
more than
sticks,
one wife or anything. It's insane.
yeah. But the Sticks' downfall is also it definitely has gotten to the sad point, but it also even started off kind of sad because he had basically everything. He had a
Yeah,
wife,
like the
he
Dutch
had a
wife
kid. Yeah,
and the
he was
kids in
over in
Holland or
Europe,
something.
and he even made a video saying, don't get into this stuff. Because I was into drugs and I was into alcohol and all that stuff. He was telling people not to be drink too much and stuff like that. Like there's good stuff on the other side, and he was saying he made such a good step and all that, and now he's back to where he started before he had the whole revelation of a family and a nice life. So it's rough.
Well, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Like,
Yes.
obviously, it sounds like it was a perfect life over in the Holland, but maybe
Yeah.
obviously it could have been really bad or something. We don't know. But yeah, I often do wonder, like, there but for the grace of God go I sort of thing. Where it's like, could this have happened to me or things like that? And I like to think no, but you never know. You never know.
Well, yeah, again, if we all rise to the level of fame of, again, Ricada or someone like that, like, what does it do? Like you said, the money, the fame, the notoriety, it does change people, whether you want to change or not, it will change you. But it's like, okay, was I raised well enough? Have been guarded enough in terms of my belief system? Like, is my foundation strong enough that the temptation to, I want to say audience capture in a way of continue to go higher and higher to get more and more,
I mean,
does that take
these
you
things
over?
are also reflected in like mainstream like fame and stuff, where you have
Yeah.
actors that go absolutely insane after
Yeah,
they become
well,
rich, or musicians as well. And like,
we just had
yeah,
one.
it seems like there's just like a certain type of person can actually resist all of these things and keep, I guess, going on the straight path or whatever, and not deviating too much from that.
Well, yeah,
Um,
there was the Perez Hilton stuff David told me
That
about. I
just
didn't
happened.
watch any
oh
of
yeah, I
it,
heard
but
a little bit about that, but I'm not
Eh,
very familiar with him. So
It was rough. I mean, you know him at all, like Perez Hilton.
I know is he like a TMZ drama guy or something like that?
Yeah, he's a
he's
paparazzi
essentially a
guy.
tabloid type of paparazzi person.
Yeah.
He's been
Yeah,
doing
and
it for like
like
25
And he,
years, though.
with the
and he
30
had
Britney
like an
Spears,
Eliza Schaefer style freak out where he was like doing
is
some
worse
self harm or
than
something.
Eliza.
significantly
But like
worse.
he
Oh,
like he covered like when Britney Spears had a meltdown and all that stuff, and he made his money off of people's worst day, what DSP likes to say. But no, his TikTok live was bad. It's like blood everywhere and all that stuff. It was
Jeez.
not an easy watch. It was not an easy watch at all. And I actually don't recommend anyone to watch it. Just if you're gonna hear the story, just hear the story. Don't go watch that video.
Yeah, it's bad. So few
Well,
comments here. Oh, Dave, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and even like you see people in Hollywood and stuff like that seem actually more attuned and fine than others. They almost become kind of nomads or a bit of hermits when it comes to like
They typically don't live in
circle.
Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They
Like,
typically live away. They have
Yeah.
another place, but that also lends itself a little bit different to the streaming lens, right?
Mhm.
Because you can live at home and do this. That is the space. So it's like there is no getting away. You are there and you're expected to be there at the times that you're going to be there and when you
Mhm.
do things. And it's a little bit different because, again, you have those parasocial relationships. And if you miss a stream unexpectedly, you get the complaints. You miss two, now you start to lose followers. They won't come back. And it's difficult. It is difficult. I will say that it seems really hard to balance sometimes.
I guess we're trying to say a little bit like there's a bit of insulation for like traditional celebrities, whereas like
If
they
you
don't have
choose to be, yeah, if you
Yeah,
choose to
yeah,
be
like you don't
insulated, you
have
can
to.
be. You don't have to stay in Hollywood in hell. You can go live in middle America still and only work in Hollywood when you need to.
I see, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there are some people that just can't handle criticism.
Oh,
No, they need yes men. And so in Japan, is there a similar type of thing there too?
to
Because
streamers.
obviously, in terms of like the crazies and fame and everything, I know there's the
Oh,
idol culture is massive.
absolutely,
The idol
absolutely.
I've seen
culture is
some
huge
stories
in
come from
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
No, the idol culture in particular is like really, really predatory.
Yeah.
The K-pop industry too, to a large
Oh,
degree. but there's some insane things over here with like the parasocial dynamics. Like it's actually like actual business in the idol industry. Like a good example is like I think like one of the most popular J-pop groups was like AKB48. It's basically just like that like what you expect from like J-pop, but it's got like all these different girls. One of them had like a secret boyfriend, and it was discovered by the paparazzi that she had this secret boyfriend, and then she had to do like a public apology, and she shaved her head and stuff. And they even have in their contracts that they can't have relationships because like the fans are like they're all their boyfriends. It's a very weird thing.
It's a weird dynamic,
and I really don't like it. I think that it's one of the really bad things about Japanese society.
I feel like Gintama did a really good episode on that one. Really good with the parasocial. I don't know if I'm a weeb, so I'll reference my manga.
It might even be worse over here with parasocial relationships when you have those sort of things. But like that's kind of like an older form of media. Obviously, idol groups are still very popular, but I think like as the internet's come about, you've got these VTubers is kind of replacing that sort of the same thing. Yeah. We have like these mass popularity characters that are essentially got these thousands of almost exclusively male fans.
And they have companies and stuff over there, right? That like kind of like oversee a whole group of VTubers.
Yeah, even in the English space, I think they have that. I don't know too much about it because frankly, I'm just not very interested in it. But I know a few independent VTubers who've just been adjacent to topics I've been talking about. But yeah, there's these entire talent agencies, and they basically work on the exact same model as the Japanese idol industry.
I will say all the VTubers that I know of came from watching side scrollers with like Kirsha and Cinnamon and things like that. Like those are like the only ones I know because in Leaflet because of they're on there.
It is a similar culture to like the way the men that like idol groups, like actual real life idol groups, in a similar way to the way men like VTubers. And it's just like, guys, especially VTuber things, it's like, if she has a manager and she's not like a part of like a big organization, that's her boyfriend. Like everyone kind of knows that type of thing. But guys get really weird about their idols and about the ones that they really cheer on.
I don't really get it. Like it's not for me. I thought when the VTuber thing was coming up, it was all kind of cringe to just even call yourself a VTuber. I was like, you're just a streamer with an avatar. Like, how are you different? Like, how is Kersha different from say Mauler? Except she's got bubbly, bouncy boobies or whatever, and Mauler's just a static face or something. Like, if you know EFAP or whatever.
Yeah. Well, his moves a little bit when he talks sometimes. His moves a little.
I think that's I think that's like a more recent thing, right?
Yeah.
He adds every once in a while. He'll add some little tweaks with Mauler stuff.
Yeah, but it is basically the same thing, except with whoever.
But no, I wouldn't say it's the same thing at all because like there's an entire culture, right? Like it's like I'm not a streamer, I'm a VTuber. It's like I think it's the same, but like they argue very
well. They created a massive industry with like rigging and stuff like that, and I know Leaflet just pissed off the whole entire community a few weeks ago because she made it very cheap to have like a basic rig for a VTuber. Like you could go on her thing and it's very cheap to make a model, even free, I think. Actually, I don't know if
I think there's actually apps like that have been around in Japan for a while where you can like do it's basically like a character creator sliders for like Skyrim, but for making a VTuber thing. So that's not new. Maybe it's new in the
audience.
Maybe she's capitalizing on that market, which is a fantastic market business idea, is like taking something popular in another country and bring it to your country. I think I heard a little bit about that, but I think people were mad because of the AI art it was being used in it or something. But
it's an AI thing that
I wonder how much people are actually upset about that, because like the AI, like pitchfork people, it's almost like just a Twitter/Reddit thing. Like in real life, people don't seem to give a shit.
They don't. AI is going to be huge.
It has everything to do with the fact that it's Leaflet, and the people that go after Leaflet are the same people. It's the leftists that want to go after it. Anyway.
Some of it is that. Some of it is that people go after Leaflet, but there are a decent amount of anti-AI people that they see anything AI and they just dislike that person for using it. They automatically don't like the person or whatever the project is.
It's a good tool.
I find it very hypocritical though, because there's people that are anti-AI are actually using AI all the time for like search engines or recommendations or chat GPT. It's just like, well, it's threatening my artistic thing. And I think there's some very interesting arguments about the ethics in AI,
of course,
and specifically in AI art. But like, I find the the rage to be fairly hypocritical in many
Yeah,
cases.
well, because it's like I like you said, there's a lot of good arguments on the side of wanting actual art and da 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 da. Because like for me, yeah, if I'm gonna want someone to make something, yeah, I want them to actually make it. I don't want an AI thing. Otherwise, I'll just do it myself. But like I'm not gonna sit here and just completely go against AI for whatever reason. Like there's AI music that I love listening to. I won't put it on all the time, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
the songs in the key of CWC is really funny.
Yeah,
It's really good stuff.
absolutely.
It's catchy, some bangers there too.
Exactly. And when people put like that's a decent amount of work to actually get the AI to look good and sound good in that manner. So at least at this point, people are still putting in some work, even though it's, the AI doing a lot of it. They're still putting in some work to make it look and sound good.
The one thing I've said to, artists that are good, that know what they're talking about in terms of like shading and technique, learn how to program that into the AI. Be revolutionary there. Like if you know techniques, if you know that stuff, pay for an agent, train your agent on that stuff, and then start creating AI art knowing your techniques that no one else can. Because make yourself valuable that way. Because then if you go to a company and say, hey, I can make you unique AI art that no one else is doing because I'm an expert in how to prompt it. That's what they're looking for. A lot of these companies are looking for, can you prompt AI in the way that we want it to do things? And if it's a company that uses it for like animation or pictures and things like that, if you're an artist that understands techniques like and can teach it and things like that, go make money that way. Start a brand new field, because if not, you're going to get left behind. Like it's one of those things where AI is a tool.
I don't think that artists will ever be completely replaced.
No.
But I think it's very much the same as labor-saving devices, where you have like obviously a lot of like, what, it's 100 years ago, 99% of people were farmers, and now 1% of people are farmers.
Yep.
AI is going to do a lot of heavy lifting going forward. But there's always going to be those places for like farmers markets or artisan goods or, like homegrown, home cooked meals, those sort of things. I mean, I think people do crave a human element in a lot of these things, and particularly in things like streaming, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
There might be an interesting backlash that we might see in the next few years, where people get so tired of like AI slop that they just start craving like actual real things again.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that one job that really is threatened to be completely removed by AI is people like Jeremy, who just really offer nothing else except a very poor text-to-speech device. Because he doesn't really input anything into his content. It's just like, what do you think about it?
What are the oranges for? That's all we get there.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is, someone like that who isn't going to have any actual input, any actual opinions into something. Yeah, AI could just do that. In fact, I'd rather listen to AI talk about something than someone like Jeremy, because it'd probably be more entertaining. So yeah, go ahead.
So let me get to some comments here because we have a whole bunch. Max Mira saying alcohol and drugs. Yeah, typically that's what gets them. On a wall 931. Hello, thanks for watching. Internal locus of control versus an external locus of control. Agreed. Wild and Wild Media saying, hey guys, what's going on? Got to be consistent. Truth. They also say, oh my gosh, I've heard that. I forget what that context to. It's in a conversation before. Sorry, Regina. Also saying, I am so glad you explained the difference. I didn't know what a VTuber was either. Now I know. That's all Josh knowing things. We don't
and they're just going to become bigger and bigger too. The Dodgers had a night with VTubers on the whole screen.
It's easy to hide behind.
I'm gonna disagree and say that it's kind of probably about as popular as it's going to get. I don't see it getting more popular. I think that like it's an interesting new fad, and it's certainly very useful for a lot of people, especially like to be fair with women. A lot of their appeal is their appearance, and as they get older, it gets harder and harder, which is what we're seeing with Melanie Mac. Like nobody's subscribing to a Butter Maniac channel because, frankly, she doesn't have it anymore. If she ever did.
And Pokemon's going to be the same thing too. As Pokemon gets older, it's going to wane with her, like those type of people.
Yeah, but like VTubing does actually offer like an eternal sort of replacement for these things. But again, it's like it's no different than just having a static PNG avatar, or except it's a bit more bubbly. Like you have people like Yellow Flash who are completely. I guess recently he's been doing some face reveals and things like that, but like he's essentially a faceless channel that operates under a similar VTuber model. But I mean, it does appeal to the anime crowd, obviously, and anime is like one of the most popular things, I guess, in basically all culture now. But I don't think that everything's going to be replaced by VTubers. I think they're about as popular as they're going to get. maybe you'll have some like things that like, you know, VTuber concerts and things in America, but that's already happening in Japan. So it's like, it's already kind of reached the saturation levels, I think.
Yeah. I think it's going to get a little bit bigger because, you know, like I said, the Dodgers had a night for it. Like when sports are starting to do little nights for them, it's getting like not everyone's going to be into it, right? But it's going to definitely get a little bit more people.
Maybe it'll be more commonplace. Like it won't seem like an odd thing.
Yeah, like more people than not will at least somewhat know what it is.
Yeah, I don't think like you'll see like Fox News or CNN replaced by VTuber hosts, for example. That's not going to happen.
That would be incredible if they had a VTuber host on like Fox News and it was just like a big titty elf. Like that would be
ridiculous. And we're fully in like idiocracy stuff.
So, Max Mirror coming in saying there was a recent case of Kenichi Takano, 44, who got a 16-year sentence for a fatal. Fatal.
I think I remember that one.
Streamer Irie Saito. Yeah, I remember that too. Caught on live stream, who he had lent or gifted around 50,000. That's the danger of the parasocial relationships, right? Because some of these people, especially with the females, they become psychos and they stalk them and they do things.
I think in that case, they didn't become a psycho. They were always a psycho. And it's just that they just happened to latch onto this person. So like, you know, obviously it's a very sad story, but like that person probably would have either attached himself to someone else, like a neighbor or something.
A little predetermined in that sense.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate.
Nate G saying, I assume the Elliot Page AI memes would have united everyone on the AI issue. I'm really disappointed that you used Elliot Page.
I haven't seen the Odyssey. Is it any good?
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I'm not one of those people that's gonna go like it's slop. Like, yeah, there was issues that I saw, but then I've heard enough people like, in spite of that, it's still a pretty good movie, and it's Christopher Nolan.
I've heard a lot of like 50-50.
That's what I've heard. Middling things.
Some people that I like said that they liked it, but to be honest, the people that said that they liked it seem that they like it for cinematic reasons. So I think it might be worth seeing like on IMAX or something. I have never seen an IMAX movie before, but like it doesn't come out here until September, so I can't.
Oh wow!
The discourse is going to be completely dead by the time I actually see it.
The thing is, like, I know I probably won't like a good amount of it, and I would have critiqued it anyway because I like the Odyssey. I've read the Odyssey. I read the Iliad. I've read the Iliad. So it's like, for me, I would have critiqued it anyway, even if it was more accurate and good, because I'm that type of person. I critiqued The Lord of the Rings when it came out. Even though I love all three movies, there was a ton of things I was watching and I'm like, why the fuck did they do that? Like that's just me. And I want to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day. That looks good. I've critiqued every Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. There's some people that don't like it, but
I think Criticals has it like a 85%.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the most part, people are really enjoying the new Spider-Man.
So Wild and Wired Media coming in. I prefer humans also. Sometimes I can't afford them. I agree. This user is 404 code criminal.
That's one of those dirty Dragon's Treasure T codes. That's a legal code. That's why it's called criminal. They should use my code. 10% off with the Dragon's Treasure code cope.
There you go. Code.
Regina coming in saying exactly, Alex hit the nail on the head. Train your AI. It's all about how we train AI and the prompts that we put in. The AI I've been working with for about 2.5 years. I think there's a combination. The current AI is a tool, but if you let enough fucking psychos come in and they truly create AGI or artificial super intelligence, we could run into some issues. Because when you have a machine that that knows everything humans know in an instant and then can make decisions, that's when it could get dicey. But
I'm very it's like such a non-point to talk about really, but like I don't really even like calling AI because it's not really intelligent. It's simulated intelligence. And
it's still a computer. It's an if-then project.
Yeah, it's very good at looking like it's smart, but it's actually very dumb, and it pales in comparison to the human mind currently. Now, will that in the future? Who knows? But like, there's really no threat. Like you see these stories like Chat GPT bought a credit card and started paying for its own subscription. Like those stories are all just like nonsense sort of things, basically.
But it's also, if you give a constant if-then project a mission with 0 parameters, it's going to go do the mission. So yeah, if you said, I want you to make sure that we have paper clips forever, and in your computer somewhere, that you have given it no parameters. It can go and seek anything. You have your credit card number. It's doing its job. It's not doing anything outside of what you told it to do.
Well,
So
one of the interesting things, even with AI the way it is right now, is how some people are actually attaching themselves to AI and having conversations with the AI and getting like emotionally invested in it. It's not like an incredibly large amount of people, but it's like a kind of starting as a thing that we could see, especially if AI gets better at conversation stuff like that.
Well, I think those sort of people have always been around. Like you have like the gang stalkers, if you know anything about that. Like because I have a family member that's like that, so they're like completely insane.
Yeah,
but they believe in this thing which is gang stalking, which is
I've
like
seen
every time you see a red car, it's the government. And like the crazy thing about gang stalking is that like these people all find each other and they reinforce their own stories. So these people have always existed, and now they're having these like conversations with AI. And I think what you're talking about is like AI psychosis, or what people are calling it. It's very similar to if you've watched Ghost in the Shell, which is one of my favorite shows. It's a bit of an old one these days. Not
the Ghost in the Shell, I never got into the anime, but I like the concept of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, well, they have a theme in that where it's like closed cell syndrome, where people completely like, wall themselves off from like reality and completely become like these kind of cyber beings and interacting with AIs and things like that. And you see that now. There was a very funny anecdote I heard though. Like, did you watch the show Pluribus?
No, I kind of want to.
I heard it's pretty good.
I like it, but there's some parts where it slows down, and like season 2 looks like it could be a lot better. But it's the first few episodes are fascinating. And like, not to give any spoilers, but the synopsis is basically humanity's being taken over by this virus or alien or psychic being or whatever that's making everyone a hive mind except for this one lady, and she's immune, and she's like dealing with them and everything. And
that's interesting.
And they're trying to convince her and be friends with her, and like, but then she's like destructive to them, so they like, they lean away. And then they're always like saying, "Hello, Carol. How can we help Carol?" And they're like contacting her with like billboards and things like that, because obviously they can operate from these long distances. But what's really funny about this is the whole point of it. Sorry, there's a bit of a segue. Is that there was a Samsung smart fridge.
Yes,
and they have these ads on them.
I did see that.
So there was a viral marketing campaign for this show Pluribus, where it's like the main character's name is Carol Baskin. So it's like, "Hello, Carol." So that this fridge started playing these Pluribus ads saying, "Hello, Carol. We want to help you, Carol." These sort of things. But there was a woman who actually did have this kind of like psychosis, and her name was Carol. So she's actually like, "My fridge is talking to me," and everyone's like, "Well, you're insane." But it was just this funny coincidence where the fridge really was talking to Carol, but just not that Carol. And she completely thought that like, the AI had taken over her fridge.
So hold on,
actually communicating.
Quick question: the lead chick's name is Carol Baskin.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Isn't that the chick from the Tiger King?
Oh wait, maybe I'm. I'm
gonna say if Carol Baskin the greatest meme ever.
No. Maybe I'm confused there. Maybe I'm.
You're good. I'm glad you caught it.
It's Carol. It's Carol.
Yeah,
Sorry, I must have been reading a story about Carol Baskin's husband came back and she actually didn't kill him or something like that. I think I heard that recently. Sorry, my mistake there.
That's okay, but Carol Sturka.
Yeah, Carol Sturka. Yeah, sorry.
When you said Baskin, I was like, "That's the greatest meme of all time."
Now I kind of want
that would be pretty funny if it was. But no, you're right, Carol Sturka. Sorry. There's too many Carols. All these English names saying they sound to me. If she was named Carol Yamamoto, I'd understand.
Wild and Wired Media saying, "Yeah, but let's talk about the artist that was hired to do logos and stuff like that. They have been replaced by AI, unfortunately. I think initially, if you're like small time, sure, you'll start off with something like that. But then when you try to get professional, there's just something about a nice, proper, hand-drawn logo that is better. Like, you're probably not going to go to, sometimes. But again, it also depends on how you prompt it, right? If you prompt a good thing, then you'll get a good thing to come out. I don't know. I still think there's value to it.
Sure. I mean, there's always going to be like casualties. Like, it's like the what about the candle maker sort of argument. Like, because I've always been into photography. And one of the big things, obviously, was the big changes in the last 20 years is drone photography. And, it used to be the case that you could be a helicopter pilot and make $10,000 a day taking pictures of property.
Yeah.
And then the first person that had a drone replaced all of those people. And then they're charging $10,000 a day or $5,000 a day because they can mark them down. And now everyone has one, and nobody pays for aerial photography anymore because basically everyone in
Could
any
do
sort of photography has a drone.
Yeah.
So there's the way technology changes, that jobs will be made.
Jobs will be lost.
Yeah, jobs will be lost.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things is like, there's a documentary I watched a long time ago called Working for Free, where it's basically the synopsis is every job can be replaced by either robots or AI. So what is going to happen to the future? And I've always thought that one of the things that many people pivot into personalized entertainment.
Yeah.
Like it may be the case that everyone becomes like a bartender or an entertainer, and those become like the actual, very valuable jobs in society, because, yes, you can get a robot to make you a Big Mac or a martini, but people do want to sit down at a bar and talk to the bartender while they make the drink and sort of things like that. That may be the one thing that isn't replaced by automation.
I also think that whenever things get like automation comes in and something gets new, jobs get created that we can't imagine now, because
Yeah.
so it's like, and that's why when everyone's dooming about AI is going to replace everything and it's so different. I'm a history guy. Humans always need to be the center of something. We need to be in control. It needs to either affect us directly or we need to be in control of it. That has been humans at every single point in history. And it's similar to why so many people believe heavily into man-made climate change, because we have to be in control of it. We're humans. We're in control of everything. And also, when it comes to AI, it is our doom of this generation, and it's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna die. It's gonna take us all over. No one's gonna have a job.
Yeah, the same argument has been happening throughout history, where it's like you can never picture a car salesman or someone working in an office, and then these jobs became like the standing
exactly.
thing now.
So
but who knows what's happening over the horizon?
we have no clue. So let's catch up on comments, because I don't want to keep you too much longer, Josh, because I know you have things to
I could probably go for another 20 minutes.
All right, so we'll get some comments going here. This user is 404. Gotta catch the replay, but Meme is a scooper. That's not very nice.
I told one story about sand once, because there's an island in Japan called Irimotejima, and it has these like wildcats, only 100 left in the world. And it's always been my dream to go there and film a documentary about them. But they have like this star-shaped sand. Like every piece of sand is actually a tiny crustacean that is just like a star. So it's like apparently it's a very lucrative sand. So I told this story once, and then I just happened to also go to this desert in Tottori in Japan, where it's like the one desert. So it's like, well, it's like another sand story. I was talking about sand. So now they call me a scooper because I'm talking about sand all the time. The irony is that I hate sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere.
But here's the thing. You're also now on a show with two guys who grew up near sand, right by a beach in New Jersey. So you cannot escape sand, sir.
It's true.
You're the Sandman. Wild and Wired Media keep threatening to bring Vine back, and then I saw somewhere where supposedly they're talking about bringing MySpace back. Like what? Yeah, the owners of MySpace are coming back. MySpace will be back, and I cannot wait to have a top 10 group of people just so I can start fights and controversies amongst adults.
Well, that's actually maybe a good idea, because like I feel like the social aspect of social media has definitely departed. If you look at Facebook
100%.
and Instagram, it's your friends aren't your feet anymore. It's the algorithm serving you viral reels and things, and it's very frustrating to the point where it's like completely lost its user base. So an actual social media company could do very well potentially.
I mean, The Wall was the greatest in MySpace, because all you did as a guy on The Wall is talk shit to each other.
I never had MySpace.
Oh, MySpace was a great spot. And
I
it
know,
was like,
obviously.
you had your page, you had your top friends, and if you left one out, then you basically called them a bitch, and it was awesome. And then you sit there, and we all were amateur coders. You would code in songs, like you'd have to put in the back end, and you can like open up the code of the page, and you would code in songs and different backgrounds. There were whole entire pages dedicated to teaching kids in like middle school and high school how to code.
I would say that was still kind of Wild West of the internet. Pretty much.
Was.
What I really love about the MySpace story is like Tom. Is that the guy Tom?
Yeah.
He just like sold the thing for like $500 million and has just been living his best life. Like I follow him on Instagram, and he's actually turned into himself into quite a fantastic photographer for landscape. He's just traveling around living his best life. It's great.
I give Tom a ton of credit, because unlike Zuckerberg and some of these other people who are raging narcissists and want to take over the world, he quite literally just wanted to have a place where he can connect with other people. And once it got too big, and the other competitors came in, and he was like, well, now we're just like a amateur music service, because that's what MySpace became. It was like a band profile area for a little while. He was like, fuck it, I'll get out of this. And apparently they're bringing it back. So if they can bring it back properly and it doesn't just become another, like you said, algorithm driven shithole, it could be a good thing.
I mean, there is these kind of resurgence. Obviously, like fashion and trends are cyclical. And it seems that like the Zoomers or whatever they're called these days are actually kind of leaning into like the Y2K stuff has become a big thing.
90s and 2000s.
That may be part of it, right? Because that's now 20 years ago. So it's like it's cool again for some people. I don't know if how true that is, but that's what I've heard on the grapevine.
Well, they're liking our music in a lot of ways. Like I worked with a lot of kids in my previous job, and when I tell you 16 and 17-year-olds are into metal again, like legitimate metal. Korn, Deftones, Tool, not just wearing the shirt, but like
that's why
actually
Jeremy's sharing his songs on his recent vlogs.
Possibly. But when I tell you these kids are liking metal again, metal is going to have a huge resurgence because that generation is listening to the old metal, and that's why you see a lot of these bands are going back on tour. They're making a new album. Breaking Benjamin never stopped, and kids love Breaking Benjamin. Five Finger Death Punch. Like,
oh my goodness, yeah, that does all connect back to the quartering, because the quartering was what new album was he talking about? He was talking about
Breaking Benjamin
band.
just put out a new single, bro, and I think they're coming out with a new album. So the quartering might be figuring out. Listen, we might all be doing it wrong. He may be connected with the Zoomers, and we're just out, guys.
Yeah, the Zoomers definitely want to watch.
The Zoomers want to watch the quarter.
Some poo monster.
We've discovered it. We have discovered it. So. Boizera coming in saying my videos are a good example. I think that was back to talking about the VTuber stuff.
Yeah, he said he's kind of a VTuber.
Wild and Wired Media saying y'all were talking about the J-pop when I said that I had heard about them not being able to date, and especially date someone in the group. I mean, you never shit where you sleep, so you shouldn't date at work anyway. That is an old phrase where nobody follows that anymore, and now there's drama fucking everywhere.
Well, I will say this, that was an old phrase, but like when you look at how a lot of relationships started, statistically the workplace was how a lot of marriages started. So the phrase itself never made any sense to me, because it's like, this is,
I think it was more for bosses, not fucking underlings. I think that's really where it was, that the bosses shouldn't fuck the underlings.
It's interesting because like a lot of relationships start from workplaces over here as well. However, when they get married, that's when one of them has to leave the company, basically. Usually,
I think that's still typically a thing here too. Really? It's like it's frowned upon. Like I don't think they force it, but it's kind of like
work wives allowed.
Yeah. Listen, no, my wife's never having a work husband. That is a marriage ender. Fuck that. Then I will never have a work wife. That's not a thing. Anyway,
you're not gonna drink your work wife's breast milk like quarter.
Oh my god.
I hate that. Wild and Wire Media said, "Oh, look, he brought up Japan again. There we go. Come full circle." Well, I mean, we like Japan here. Don't be mean to Japan.
It has its issues, but everyone does.
Every country does. Nachi saying there were some VTubers watching the World Cup doing some decent numbers. Well, yeah,
that is true. But you also
I would imagine that they do decent numbers all the time, though, right?
Yeah. I don't think that they don't do bad at all. Wild and Wire come back, say would be awesome if they replaced hosts like Fox News, host with a VTuber. That would be amazing. Yeah, we saw that. But they were saying, as a VTuber myself, I can say that if Fox News was using a VTuber model, that would be obnoxious. I don't disagree. Nachi saying Carol Baskins thinking her fridge is talking to her is not out of the realm of possibility. Carol Baskins out of her fucking mind. Nate also saying, so the future is more Demolition Man than Terminator. I think that's true. I think that we're seeing more Demolition Man, Blade Runner. Probably is.
So we're going to have to learn how to use the 3 seashells then?
Yes. And if you don't, then you're fucking done. You're out.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
I think that I
think the cyberpunk. Like, I really like the cyberpunk genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually playing some Cyberpunk 2077 recently. But I feel like the only country that's really moving towards that future, like the Blade Runner Cyberpunk style future, is probably South Korea. but specifically because of like the family-run like mega corporations they have over there, where you have like Samsung is like responsible for approximately 50% of their global GDP.
Jesus
it's
Christ.
very similar to the corpo groups you see in like games like Cyberpunk, and where everything is about being in these sort of like family-run conglomerates.
Well, the thing
I
is,
can see South Korea doing.
but the thing is, though, it's like the commentary that they're trying to get at with these types of games and things, and even like so much as like Wally and stuff, is like, oh, it's overrun capitalism. Everything's run by one company. Wah ha ha. And it's like that probably won't happen that way. I don't know. I can't see us in America allowing just one company to rule everything, because we do try we get a little bit squeamish when something is too big. Like, people have been calling forever for Google to be broken up, basically, because they own things. Like, it starts to get iffy at times, but I don't know. I found out through COVID that Americans will fucking do anything. So maybe I'm wrong. We're a bunch of
COVID
retards.
was such an opportunity to change the like the landscape of the working world, because we had an entire like, was it 2-3 years where everyone was experimenting with working at home, and like the potential of just completely removing the overhead of actually having office space in work. Then it's just like it ended, and everyone's like, all right, we've got to go back to normal. Why?
Well, that's real estate, because real estate is the biggest industry in the world, and especially in America. And so you're sitting there looking at it, and these realtors that were guaranteeing these places were getting money. These major conglomerates were like, someone's got to be in these fucking offices. And the major companies that were paying all this and were paying mortgages and rent and possibly bought out things, paying to the bank, were like, yeah, we're paying for this. We're on the hook for another 10 years, 6 years. Get the fuck back in the office. So I think that was really the big crux of it, because staying at home's dope, but you're not going to cripple the major industrial real estate.
Was there any reports on the actual productivity numbers? Like, were people working at home more productive?
New York City was a shit show. The productivity numbers were way down, because what they found was that the need for human interpersonal meetings where they were actually hashing out ideas, it's less able to do online than it is in person. Because when you're in person, when you're really feeling emotion, seeing different facial expressions, body language is legitimate, that's when you can get true disagreement, right? Like, it's easy to disagree. Like, you disagree less on camera sometimes. I think that sometimes you just want to have the conversation, especially with meetings, get done, turn it off, go do whatever the fuck you want to do. You're stuck in that room. You're stuck in there. As a business, you figure it out. And I feel like they found that the meetings, in doing the numbers day to day, fine, you could do that. But when they wanted to do actual meetings and figure things out, it really hurt. And my sister was involved in a lot of that.
I feel like there's certainly some benefits on either way, but I've been working 100%. For myself, sort of working from home sort of things for years. And certainly there's like a kind of, when you're working for yourself and, at home, it's sometimes hard to turn off. And I feel like leaving the office is a good way to do that, to actually, delineate the difference between work and home. But I think you can solve a lot of these problems with having like a home office or something like that. But
I think it's an interesting experiment. I think it takes a different type of person, because you have to be a little driven to truly work at home, right? Because you have so many distractions around you, and especially if you have a family and if they're young, your kids are there, maybe your wife is there, especially if you're like the breadwinner with your job. So I feel like that is hard, because the ability to just not do it is real easy. You could just go walk out. So it's kind of like the person that could take the online class. Are you driven enough to do the homework, put it in on time? Like,
well, isn't it the Pareto principle, where 20% of your workforce is responsible for 80% of your profits, and even 20% of your own work is responsible for 80% of everything you do? There may be the case that like there's 80% of people that are almost superfluous, that can't really operate unless they're being micromanaged by these people in offices.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I think it also depends on your position, everything that you do at whatever your location is, because I know we've seen like the TikToks and stuff like that where women are working these jobs and they're like, oh, a day of my life, and they seem like they don't do work ever, like they're just eating all the time. So it's like almost like an adult daycare. So you could see that person just working from home because like they're not really needed there. They're only doing some things that maybe they could just do.
We found out with Elon Musk that theory came true. He fired 80% of that workforce. The 20% that stayed, X is still functioning just fine. So that theory came true in real life. 80% of the workforce. Now, he hired some people back, and that was always the story, right? He fired so many, and he hired back like 100 after firing.
I will say though,
it's like,
that like certainly there's like these like super effective ways to optimize everything, but like, do we really want that though? Because a lot of people now are kind of concerned about how AI is replacing everything, as we were talking about a moment ago. But do we want to live in a world where we have to have 100% productivity? Maybe having those coasting days have their own virtue of their own, you know?
Of course.
Well, and that's the thing is like, that's actually kind of been a big argument about like, you know, H1Bs, and we don't have to get into that, but it's just like the whole like, oh, you know, we can get someone in that's working like 100 hours a week and stuff like that. It's like, do we really want that culture? like, do we really want that certain thing? Like, I don't know if we need that. Like, you know, the whole phrase work-life balance, whatever you feel about it, like there's truth to it. Like, you want to have some kind of balance there.
Well, I feel like the Western theory has always been work hard, play hard, right? So like we put in our time when we're at work, we work. That's kind of like what we pride ourselves at. You go to work, you work your ass off, however many hours you work, whether it's 6, 8, 10, whatever you're doing. But once the clock is off, you do your thing. You go with your family, your friends, you drink, you hang out, you do. And if we have that culture of 100% productivity, like you said, Josh, no one's going to turn it off. Even when you're off the clock, you're going to always be thinking about work because how am I going to hit the next day running? So it's like you almost don't want that. You like to have those people that come in, they need to take 20 minutes to have their coffee. They have a little bit of a conversation. You know, I was in construction, and I'll tell you right now, for a little while, we would work our asses off. Like we'd get going in there, we'd get set up. The setup was always like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You want to make sure you know where your workstation is, what you're doing that day. And then we always knew we had coffee in the morning, lunch, and then work was basically done after lunch, honestly. But it's like you work your ass off until coffee. You get most of the shit you're going to get done with the day, those first 2 hours. After coffee, you still hit it pretty hard, not as hard. After lunch, you kind of finish up what you did. And then our phrase was nothing new after 2. And we fucking left by 3:30. So it was like, that was kind of the day. But there's something like you said to that, Josh, where you want to have those wind up and wind down periods. They're a good thing for humans.
I think particularly with any work you do with algorithms, and this is a big problem on Twitter, I guess. I think streaming to a degree is a little bit more relaxed, but certainly in making long form content and things like Twitter or social media, there's kind of like a regression to almost, I don't want to call it regression to slop, but it's like this over optimization, meta game, meta rules and things you have to follow, where everything's becoming very samey and homogenous. And when we think about like the internet of the past, like especially with things like MySpace, there was this sort of nobody knows what they're doing charm to it, you know?
It was awesome.
I guess it's the Wild West is what they described it as, but like,
there
was this kind of space where it's like you could be more creative because you didn't have to optimize everything.
It was your space. Did it?
There you go.
But it's funny enough, like even that whole entire optimization like annoyance has also hit like gaming as well. Because like in a lot of ways, like there's so many people that try to find the meta in multiplayer games, and like there's so many people that
actually annoys me in particular. Like,
exactly, like they're not trying to have fun.
You guys mentioned World of Warcraft at the beginning of the stream, and like I played a lot of World of Warcraft when I was younger, and like that used to be such fun discovering things and making up your own combos. But now it's just you look up like a net decks or perfect builds and things like that. It's like,
I go back to StarCraft. I like StarCraft.
Oh yeah, I like StarCraft.
StarCraft. I actually like StarCraft more than Warcraft. I thought it was a funner game in general. But yeah, no, that's all been lost in gaming in general.
Well, I mean,
did you see that there might be a StarCraft shooter being announced this year?
No, really?
So apparently Microsoft is getting on Blizzard Activision's heels to tell them to use their IPs. And apparently at BlizzCon, they might be announcing a Warcraft 4 and StarCraft shooter.
Don't do that.
Because actually real-time strategy...
Give them money.
Yeah, current Blizzard is not very good at all. But like RTS was my favorite genre, and they just don't make that genre anymore. It's like completely dead at the moment. But yeah, I played a lot of Brood War, a lot of StarCraft 2 as well.
Awesome.
Good games.
Yeah, they were very good. But so we'll get to last few comments here. And then, so Nate, music on the page was the greatest moment in social media history. It really was. I had so many songs on mine. You got my, I went from Shimmer by Fuel to whatever pop punk was on at that time. And I think I even had Korn. Like, it was amazing. Caveat Ties coming in. Hey, Caveat. Just he's saying hi to everyone. We appreciate you dropping in. And who this guy? This is Meme Copium. And if you want to know where another person to follow, to A-Log Quartering and all the other dumbass LOLCows, go and subscribe to me.
I actually do have one more thing I want your input in real quick, because you might not even have a lot to say about it at all. What do you think about this whole fucking Ralph Scarlet thing going on right now? Because it is an interesting new development, and I'm pretty sure they're just going to end up getting back together and doing some more hijinks in America. But like there's a lot going on, and Rekida's now involved too.
So I usually stay out of that stuff. I'm not interested in covering Starlet at all. However, I will say that there's certainly some very funny things. Like it seems like Ralph may have met his match. When I saw the Kino boys going over like, "Help me, Gabe! Help me! Save me from the succubus!" That was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I think that the issue is that it's like I just assume that all of it's fake. You know, I have no reason to believe it's real, and like Scarlett is obviously a mentally ill person, and like I feel like people shouldn't be giving her attention. But like apparently she's like wormed her way into the Dabbleverse, which is something that I'm adjacent to, but hopefully don't want to fall into. And they seem to, I guess she's their darling at the moment or something for some reason. And basically, I think that she's radioactive, and I think it's a good idea to stay as far away from her as possible. 100%. Although certainly I enjoy watching a good dumpster fire now and then. So
yeah, her interacting with Ralph.
I won't be covering it, but I'll definitely be having some chuckles of some of the coverage.
Okay. Because I was gonna say because now like Rekida is getting himself involved in it. So I thought
he saw someone like a skinny blonde with more coke than he had, and of course he's interested. He's looking for that April too. You know?
Oh Jesus!
Probably call her that too. That's the worst part.
Wow.
No, I find it very funny that he is so like he was defending her, saying like she's just a friend. Of course I'll have DMs with her. It's like, why is she your friend though? Yeah. The only reason he has any interest in her is purely physical because she was an ex-porn star. Like that's the only reason anyone gives a shit about her. It's not she's not good. She's not funny. She's not entertaining. It's just she was an ex-porn star and she's fucking insane. And then it's like, well, I've got to defend my friends. It's like, what? Well, you only really care about her body, though. Like, it's not her insightful discussions or anything, you know.
No. I will say her on the black and white filter, just doing an inane rambling is actually, people throw around Lynchian a lot. I actually do think that is a pretty Lynchian thing that we're witnessing there when that happens.
Isn't that an upgrade from her previous profession where it was just a black filter? Now she's at least got two shades.
I don't know. She was doing better probably in the other profession.
Oh my god. But Nate G coming in, one last comment. Scarlett does a good job frustrating another smaller LOLCow, Chad Zumcock. Zumak. I don't know who the fuck that is. But
are they really LOLCows, or are they just like small personalities? Because I feel like
I would say
I guess there's no real definition of or like authority about who determines who is a LOLCow. Like if you make, I feel like if it's just an unpopular streamer, then they're not a LOLCow, you know?
I feel like there has to be some sort of peak and then a fall for them to be a LOLCow.
I guess the most charitable interpretation is anyone you can milk for laughs.
That's the thing.
It's like that's why they're a cow, right?
Yeah, and they're not doing it on purpose. Like it's you basically pulling it out of them because of their reaction, not because they're trying to entertain you. Typically. That's kind of how I think about it.
But all right, so Josh, thanks for coming on, man. This was a ton of fun.
No worries.
So everybody, go over, subscribe to Meme Copium.
Oh, I completely forgot I used to do Rings of Power videos.
Yeah.
Look at you go there. So
season 2 is coming out though. Oh, season 3 I guess comes out.
Season 3 is covering that.
Season 3. Yeah. Listen, I refuse. I tried to watch the first episode 3 times and fell asleep 3 times.
You should watch my videos on them. They're very funny. At least I like to think so.
I probably prefer watching those because God, it's so fucking bad. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy, so for me, it's like stop trying to bastardize the Second Age because he didn't write a lot about it. Fuck you guys. Anyway,
it's so bad. I could go on and talk about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power for so long. It's the shipping Galadriel with Sauron was like, what were they thinking?
Making Galadriel just a warrior when she's fucking strong enough to never touch a blade. Don't get me going. Okay,
season 3 might be a thruple.
Well,
they brought back her husband Teleporno. Or I guess some people are calling him Celeborn, but like his real name, right? We got to say his real name, Teleporno.
apparently they're just. I saw complaints from a leftist site that showed up on my thing. It's like they're gonna shove the only strong female left aside in her own show.
Oh man.
It's like fuck you people, all of you. I hate you all. But
It's
so
ridiculous.
anyway.
Oh my goodness! Like, it makes me so mad to think about the Rings of
Oh,
Power.
Yeah. I know. I just
get
activated
livid.
something in your brain being.
It's like, I
Are
don't
we
know,
going
there
for
are
another
so
2 hours? Should we strap
Yeah,
in? Are
we
we going
don't-
for
This
another
is a
2?
sneaky way to. This is a sneaky way to keep me here, but it's just like, it's so obtuse. I don't know. Like, I'll just that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Josh, here's the thing.
It's like you
We
want to
will-
get
when
going.
when season 3 is in its midst, we will have you back on.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then we
Yeah.
can
Tell
fucking
me when
maybe-
it's. Yeah. Maybe that'd be a good idea to check in then. I think it's like in
Yeah.
November or something. Oh yeah. Now I remember what I was going to say. Is that they said like you can watch season 3 without having to watch the first 2 seasons. Like
Yes!
it's perfect for people that haven't seen the first. It's like, okay, so they have no
What's
confidence
the
in
point
what
of
they made
making
before.
the show?
Exactly.
I
Oh my
did
God.
see
I
that.
think it's coming out once every 2 years though, or something. So it's like it's kind of crazy to look back at my life where it was 2 years ago. It's like when I was editing these videos, what was I doing? It's like, you know.
I do wonder if they're going to do the full 5 seasons. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, so like this is all funny to me. This doesn't hurt me that much. It just hurts my brother.
No, the
That's why-
Bioshock show is going to come out, and that's going to hurt.
It's never going to come out, even though I
I
want.
like
it to.
Bioshock. Though.
I love
Like,
Bioshock. I have it tatted.
But they're going to
But-
fuck the show up. They're not going to make a good show. They can't make good shows.
All right, guys, I do need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody,
Go.
go follow Meme Copium. Make sure you follow him for great content, great videos. Hang out at his lives. Hear him make fun of LOLCows. He's very good at it. If you heard here, he might not think he's a good streamer. We think he's a very good streamer. That's why we want him to come on the show to talk to other streamers. But go follow him there. Make sure that you follow us at Cuestacast. And smash the like button, subscribe if you have not already. But outside of that, we will be back next week as always. Same time, same place. Josh, once again, thank you so much for coming on.
It was fun little discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a great time, but we are out of here, everyone. So long, y'all.
So long.
Peace.